football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Welcome to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Another busy afternoon ahead for you. 3 games in top flight. We, of course, have reporters at all these games and also 3 matches in the Championship. I will bring you the goal news from right across the country. There was an early kick-off in England. Another win for Ange Postecoglou, down to 10 men, but they managed to see off Luton by 1-0 away from home. We've had the team news and the build-up from the 3 top-flight games. Let's then get in to the Championship. What a match this afternoon for you, Amy Canavan at Starks Park.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Kenny. Outside of the Edinburgh Derby, this is, in my view, the biggest game in the country. Top of the table battle in the most tremendous league in the world. What more could you possibly want? Second place Raith Rovers hosting league leaders and many folks' favourites for the title, Dundee United. Jim Goodwin's United are unchanged from last weekend's convincing 4-1 win against Queen's Park, while Raith 2 line up the same way they did in their 2-1 win against Ayr United. United are undefeated, while the Rovers have only been beat once by Ian Murray's old side Airdrie 2 weeks back. Over 6,400 tickets have been sold for this colossal clash. How many of those will still be able to bat through the conditions? That remains to be seen. It is, though, without a doubt, the most packed I've seen at Starks Park. I'm fairly looking forward to this one. I think everyone packed in here certainly is. The referee is Alan Muir, and we've just got underway.
Should be an absolute cracker. Also a really interesting looking game up in the Highlands today. Ian Auld is here for us. Inverness, Cally Thistle against Partick Thistle. Good afternoon, Ian.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kenny. Nothing was going to stop Duncan Ferguson's home debut as Cally Thistle manager this afternoon. Heavy rainfall in the Highland capital this morning swept aside, and full credit to groundsman Dale Stephen and his team who've got this game on. Conditions immaculate in the Highland capital for this one. Partick Thistle go into the game. They're unchanged from the side that beat Dunfermline last weekend at Firhill. Cally Thistle are also unchanged from their first home win of the season to Arbroath, and Cally Thistle came out to Everton anthem Z cars, so Duncan Ferguson at home here in Inverness.
Yeah, the amazing celebrations at Gayfield last weekend with that win in front of the away support. We had one of the fans on, absolutely delighted with the appointment. We heard from Chick Young earlier on. Queen's Park against Morton for you today, despite a real struggle. They have at least been able to get a team, a squad together today. Morton, Chick.
Yeah, they managed to just, a real
to the goal, but
injury problems at the start of this season, but I have to say that they managed to come across strongly. They can go to Invercoid this afternoon, but they've got a side together and they managed to get 4 substitutes as well. Morton playing in a natty, actually salmon pink. Is that salmon pink or is that orange? I don't know. I'm pretty colourblind, that department. Dark blue short socks, dark blue shorts. But anyway, it's very natty. Takes me back to the days of Hal Stewart and Morton and Sixties when they had a different ship every week, Kenny. And actually, while I'm on the nostalgia beat, can I just give a mention to the great Bill Monroe, who'd sadly passed away at the age of 89 this week. Former manager Clydebank, absolute gentleman, much loved for everything he did at Clydebank. They brought Davy Cooper and players like that through for Clydebank back in the day. Lovely man, and I remember going to Kilbowie on Christmas Day 1977, a lockout, 10,000 the ground. Clydebank and Murn battling for the championship at that time. Brilliant memories, and just to note of Scottish football, to give a mention to a great guy and a wonderful coach.
Very nice words there from Chick Young. The first goal of the day in Scotland has been scored by Cove Rangers. Paul McGowan with the goal there on 2 minutes. They are 1-0 up at home to Annan Athletic. Let's then get to the big game in the capital, the Edinburgh Derby. Hearts against Hibs there for us. Kenny Miller, what's happening in the early stages here, Kenny?
Yes, Hearts had a lot of possession. They're knocking about pretty well. They've not really got anywhere near David Marshall's goal as yet. Hibs, on the other hand, with Martin Boyle on that left side, you see his pace already 2 or 3 times. He's went down the line, he's cut back, it felt Ellie Ewan on the edge of the box. His shot looked like it was going to go on target, but it was blocked by Kai Roll. So it's been a really lively start here in the capital.
And what about at Celtic Park? Celtic at home to Kilmarnock this afternoon there for us, Rory Loy.
Yes, indeed, Kenny. Kilmarnock have barely had a kick. It's been all Celtic so far. No real clear-cut chances. However, there was a very slight second where I thought they were going to potentially get a penalty through VAR. ball didn't strike the hand or the arm of Stuart Finlay. It didn't look like a penalty to me, but sure enough, the referee's hand went to his ear, but it was very quickly waved away and play on and play resumed. So Celtic coming forward at the moment, and Kyogo's got a chance. There's a goal! The flag's gone up though. It will be checked. It looked offside to me. It's a lovely ball through to him, but I think it was McGregor. Kyogo tucks it away, but I think this will be chalked off for offside. We'll wait and see. But Celtic have started really, really well, Kenny.
Very good start from the home side there. What's happening through at Livingston there at home to Motherwell this afternoon there for us? Callum Davison.
Yeah, pretty even start here. I think both teams have had a corner. Oval Ice had a good chance. It's quite interesting. One centre-half's taking the corner, another centre-half's heading it just past the post. But pretty even start from both teams.
Peterhead 1-0 up away at Forfar. Conor O'Keefe with a goal there on 5 minutes.
No goal, Kenny.
No goal. Thanks to Rory Loy there, that early chance for Celtic, but the goal will not stand. What do you make, guys, of the decision? Actually, Callum, we'll come to you first as a manager. We get the big build-up there from Amy Canavan in the game. Raith Rovers top of the table clash at home to Dundee United. Quite a nice wee story earlier in the week that United wanted more tickets, and Raith Rovers actually put this out to their fans. Said, look, what do you want, more revenue for the club, or would they be concerned around maybe some advantage for United with the extra support in there? And overwhelmingly, the fans went to get more revenue for the club in these difficult times. Is that something as a manager you would get involved in, that you would back?
Obviously we had an issue last year with the tickets. I think it was against Rangers. I think we actually gave them more tickets without asking the fans. Obviously I wasn't party to that. I think it's good that they actually gave the fans the opportunity to make the decision. And realistically, more revenue for the club means better players, better performances. So yeah, it's good that they gave the opportunity to supporters, and I think it's something that you're probably looking forward. I think if last year was at St Johnstone, I think they'd probably do the same again.
I think it's a good decision from Raith to ask the fans, especially the issues that they've had in recent years with some decisions that the club have made that the fans didn't really like. So I think to have that level of fan engagement, but also they're right, because it can swing it both ways. I think St Mirren made the decision last season, it was not to sell additional stands to I think it was Celtic and Rangers and other clubs.
Season ticket holder has to pay a bit more money for that, Leanne.
I thought it was a decision that actually benefited St Mirren, because if you've got packed out stands at times, particularly when the Old Firm come in those types of games, and big games like today as Raith Rovers Dundee United top of the table clash, it could swing it. But the fact that the fans have put the club first in terms of that revenue, if it's their decision, then it probably sits better with the club as a whole as well, that it's been a joint decision.
The thing about that, Leanne, it wasn't St Mirren actually, the difference in St Mirren as a full stand was only about 30 people for what they'd got against Rangers and Celtic the previous season. So they filled the seats with St Mirren fans, and you get an advantage in a football sense, and more or less the same money.
Yeah. As a manager, though, I probably have to say that you don't want the fans there. You want basic support. You want your team to get the advantage. I do know when you play against the bigger teams and they're outweighing your support, sometimes it's really difficult to get any kind of sort of rhythm into the game for your home team. So as a manager, you might look at it slightly different in where you are and how many points you want.
Flying start for Cove. Rangers Blair Ewell with a second goal on 5 minutes. Cove 2, Annan Athletic 0. What's then happening, Rory Loy, at Celtic Park? Hugely, I covered the game during the week, hugely disappointing, that late defeat at home to Lazio. But as we said earlier on, a very, very strong start domestically for Celtic.
Yes, and a very, very strong start to this game as well. Hatate's just had a shot there, which is well held by Dennis, but he struck it well, and they've got a corner now. It really, really is back to the walls for Kilmarnock. I think they're trying to get Kennedy close to Vassell, but he's coming back the pitch, and it's really a 5 and a 4, the two banks, which we're so used to seeing at Celtic Park. Greg Taylor's having a big influence. At one point, actually, Alistair Johnson was in the pitch, Greg Taylor was in the pitch, and you had your two fullbacks controlling the tempo of the play for the middle of the pitch. Liam Scales gets his head on that, and it's well held by Dennis. But yeah, I said before the game that Celtic look like they're just starting to motor under Brendan Rodgers, going through the gears now, and I've not changed my mind based on the first 8 or 9 minutes or so. They've been pretty impressive so far, but it's still 0-0.
There's an incredible stat during the week, Leanne, that Celtic haven't won a group game at home in the Champions League in 10 in years. The last one was against Ajax. When you think of that atmosphere and what that must give the home players at Celtic Park, yet they've not managed to convert that into victories. I thought it was an incredible start.
Yeah, I think and everybody was astounded. I think when you heard it, it was one of those stats that it wasn't until people said it out loud that you're going, wow, that's unbelievable. Because even the other night I thought it was a dead ringer for Celtic to win that game, honestly. And looking at the control that they had, it was almost just a matter of time when they would get the winner in the game. And I know they then had the goal that was chopped off, which was tight, but it's a poor result again when you look at it, and the fact that record now lasts as long as it has. There's been some good opportunities along the way that you could have halted that. Yes, Rory.
Can I just ask you, you can rewind to last weekend and Motherwell score in the 95th minute. I still genuinely believe the Celtic players think they can win that game.
Yeah.
And that's a mentality thing. Do you think at 1-1 with 5 minutes to go, they genuinely believed that they were going to get the winner?
I think so, Rory, because even the way that Cameron Carter-Vickers played, he gives the ball away, but he's trying to regain possession. It wasn't just a matter of clearing your lines and trying to see the game out. I think he was trying to establish possession and look to try and build an attack. And you could see the way the place erupted. The response for the players was the same when they went 2-1 up and then the goal was taken off. It's maybe just slightly different in the Champions League, that you perhaps don't have that same belief. But the way that they're playing now, Celtic, how many times now over?
Mental block a little bit when it comes to these games because they've not won in so long.
I know, but then did the players even recognise that it's been so long? Because even we as the media probably only realised it was severe, this week when we speak about it. And there's been such a turnover in the group in recent years that I sometimes think that that's a good thing, because those types of lasting memories don't really remain within the squad unless you bring it to their attention.
Yeah, fair enough. It's just as somebody who watched the game, I just felt like, Motherwell game again. You just think Celtic are going to score even after Motherwell score. The Lazio game, there's a little bit of nervousness around the stadium potentially. I know the crowd got behind them and things.
Alex Lowry hits the post.
Yes, Kenny.
Hearts have the dominant team, a lot of possession. Hibs are so dangerous on the counter though with Martin Boyle. But another one of these attacks, Alex Lowry ends up with the ball just on the edge of the box, right hand side. He just shifts on his left foot and tries to guide it into David Marshall's far corner, and it strikes the post straight in the face, comes back out. Hibs clear it for a corner and Christian Doige just heads it away. Yeah,
it's a good effort, Kenny. Was it also Lowry a few minutes ago that pulled a save from Marshall as well?
Chance,
yeah, he looks lively.
It's a long pass for Toby Sibbick. Lawrence Shankland had went short, and I think Rocky Bashiri got sucked in with him. Thought it was just going to run through, but bursting on it was Alex Lowry for that 10 position, and it's a tough one on the half volley. He hits it straight down the throat of David Marshall. Straight from that, Martin Boyle straight up the other end and gets a free kick on the edge of the box that Dylan Ventey just pulled past the right hand post of Xander Clark. So listen, it's been a great first 12 minutes to this game. End-to-end stuff, Hearts dominating, but Hibs looking really, really dangerous on the counter.
There's no doubt he's a talent, Kenny. And I was listening to the manager when he was asked about him, and he says in possession, he gives you something different. I think his words along those lines, but it is just that bit out of possession. I think when he gets on it all the time, and even when he loses it, he wants to get back on it, which I love. And he's a young player, and that's exactly how he should be. It's just perhaps certain moments in games that when the possession does get turned over, he needs to do a wee bit more.
He probably does. You're right, Leanne, but I think today's setup against Hearts with this kind of 4-2-3-1, he's playing in the 10, and the way Hibs play with a 4-4-2, there's a lot of space in behind Jimmy Jago and a lot of space behind Joe Newell for him to operate. And already when one of them gets sucked out, there's been passes go through him into his feet. He needs to then turn quickly and he's straight at the Hearts back line. So I think today could be a really, really good game for Alex Lowry to play in the position that he probably really enjoys playing the most.
Across the season, Kenny, would you make Hearts favourites to finish above Hibs?
I would say so, yeah, because I know we're talking about the standard and the strength of the squads. I look at this Hearts squad and I think you've got Herring, Beningby, Grant, Boyce, Halliday, Ofaya, Tagawa on that bench. This is a strong team, and this is still without a few players that are injured as well. So I think Hearts have got a really, really strong squad. It's about getting the right shape, because I know they've kind of flipped between a few shapes in recent weeks, and getting the right players on the field to play. I like the look of their team today, to be honest. Again, with Alex Lowry just off Lawrence Shankland. I think with Shankland dropping in, and you just seen there a few minutes ago Lowry getting beyond, I think it's really, really important that he does that also, because Shankland can draw them in and he can run beyond. Yes, he wants the ball with feet to create, and he's got a wonderful touch and ability to see a pass, but in that position you have to run beyond as well. We've already seen that early in this game.
Everton 1-0 up at home to Bournemouth. James Garner with the goal there. What's happening at Celtic Park, Rory Loy?
The Celtic have a corner. Kilmarnock did get up the pitch. Just as you left me the last time, Kyle Vassell is a handful. He's so strong, and he's pinned Liam Scales a couple of times, which has got Kilmarnock up the pitch. However, Celtic straight back down the other end and get a corner. No real goalmouth action. A few misplaced passes from Celtic at times, but also a few really good passages of play. As I say, no great goalmouth action at the moment. Kilmarnock very much planked in a 5 and a 4 formation with Vassell up front and soaking up most of the danger so far. But there's a corner at the other side now, and it's quickly racking up in terms of the corner count for Celtic, who are pretty much dominating this game. Other than that one, 40 up the pitch from Kilmarnock. It's 0-0.
Any early chances in your game? Livingston against Motherwell, Callum Davidson?
Yeah, a couple of good chances. Livingston probably dominating the game. Looks like it's going to settle down. Livingston have most possession. Motherwell going to sort of break on the counter. A really good run by Mackay down right hand side. He's cut it back. Kelly's 10 yards away. He's got to do better with his contact. I think probably 8 times out of 10 he'll score there. And then Motherwell just go up, counter attack, ball in the box, Spence, back post header, just wide. So again, the game's kind of settling down. Looks like Livingston are going to have most of possession. It looks like the way the teams have set up, obviously one team's a 3-4-1-2, one's a 3-4-3. With Motherwell being the latter, it looks like they're going to counter, and Livingston are going to have majority of possession, but still 0-0 here.
In the English Premier League, Burnley have gone ahead at home to Chelsea. Wilson Odobert with a goal there on 15 minutes. Amy Canavan, we gave your game the big build-up this afternoon. Wraith Rovers against Dundee United. What's happening there?
There's not too much happening in the way of goalmouth action, Kenny, just as Wraith Rovers once again think about coming forward. But I think Ross Docherty's just managing to turn away that attack on the far side, but Wraith have certainly looked slightly more dangerous in front of goal, while United have looked good down this near flank with Middleton and Watts, and that's a free kick to Wraith Rovers, which you can perhaps maybe tell by the reaction around me. And I was listening intently to that discussion earlier about Wraith's decision to ask the fans, and from those I've spoke to today and in advance of today's game, they certainly agree and think that their club cares and is connecting with them, which I think, as Leanne rightly said, was really key after a few iffy decisions over the last few years. Everyone wants a well-attended game, don't they? And we certainly have one here today, and so far it's a decent game to be watching.
It's fantastic. A club certainly going in the right direction. We had actually a Wraith fan got in touch with the programme a couple of weeks ago. We got him on live. He's out in the Netherlands working at the moment, but very proud of what's going on at his club at the moment. What's then happening in the Highlands, Inverness? Cally Thistle at home to Partick Thistle there for us. Ian Auld.
Yeah, very even in the opening 17 minutes of this one, Kenny. Partick Thistle have looked good going forward. Cally Thistle have, again, they're looking more confident as the game goes on. Certainly the last time I saw them against Dundee United, I've seen a massive change. Nikolai Ujar headed wide inside 7 minutes. But as I say, very even contest. Cally Thistle are looking good against their high-flying opponents.
And for yourself, Chick Young, you were telling us earlier, a miserable start to the season for Morton, bottom of the table, level on points with Inverness. Cally Thistle struggles today getting a squad together against a Queen's Park side that started well, but off the boil in recent weeks.
Well, we've played 17 minutes, Kenny. It's still 0-0. I have to say, I'm very, very impressed. Sitting relaxed and watching this game with the quality of football for both sides. Morton getting the ball moved quickly, getting it up front early, and keeping possession and threatening Queen's Park the last 5 minutes or so. Queens have started to do exactly the same. Is going to end in end to end. The quality, this is ideal conditions, isn't it? Players love playing, and the rain's actually gone off, so the pitch is very zippy. They're getting the ball, using that. And here's a little chance for Queen's Park. A little run across the face, held on it just a little bit too long. Tom Thomas, who's so comfortable on the ball. I'm really enjoying this game, actually. 0-0 at the moment, but I think there will be goals in this match.
Well, goals at a premium so far in the Premiership. Celtic 0, Kilmarnock 0, Hearts 0, Hibs 0, Livingston 0, Motherwell 0. Dundee against Ross County was postponed this morning due to a waterlogged pitch. In the Championship, all the games are Park goalless. Airdrie Ayr United, Cali Thistle against Partick Thistle, Queen's Park Morton, Wraith Rovers against Dundee United. Yes.
They've hit the post. Queen's Park, it's Rui Payton, lovely turn just beyond the penalty spot, got around it, and he was looked as if it was going to the corner. Jamie McDonald thought it was going to the corner. He was rooted to the spot, but it rattled off the post. Came back to Payton again, another effort, came off the defender, corner Queen's Park. I'm guaranteeing goals, Kenny.
Fantastic, I love to hear that confidence. Just a reminder, Dunfermline against Arbroath in the Championship was also postponed earlier today in League One. What a start for Cove Rangers, 2-0 up at home to Annan Athletic. Edinburgh City 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Montrose 0, Alloa 0, Queen of the South 0, Stirling 0. A 5:30 start. Falkirk against Hamilton. I think we'll hear from a Falkirk fan live from that game in the latter part of Sportsound this afternoon. A reminder, Ryder Cup, Scottish Ryder Cup hero Bob McIntyre choosing the music for us this evening. I've seen the choices, some fantastic choices. The first song is an absolute belter. Into League Two, Bonnyrigg Rose against East Fife, match postponed. Dumbarton have just gone 1-0 up away at Clyde. I'll give you the score that's just come in the past couple of minutes. Elgin City Stenhousemuir, match postponed. Forfar 0, Peterhead 1, Stranraer 0, Spartans 0. And in England, the lunchtime kickoff, Luton Town 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1, Burnley 1, Chelsea 0, Everton 1, Bournemouth 0, Fulham 0, Sheffield United 0, Manchester United 0, Brentford 0. 5:30 start, Crystal Palace against Nottingham Forest. Ryan Wallace with a goal there for Dumbarton in 90 minutes. Clyde 0, Dumbarton 1. So a shortage of goals so far, Leanne, a bit
It is, I know. Having said that, though, the football in front of me, certainly that I'm watching, is entertaining enough. I'm sure the guys that are out of the game are enjoying it as well. Certainly the weather, I think, helps. The pitches look slick. All the teams that I'm saying, like the Derby in front, Hearts have got a bit of a kind of stronghold in the game, have looked more attacking. Celtic are dominating at Celtic Park. But Kilmarnock, Rory, correct me if I'm wrong, it was as if they've maybe grown into the game in the last couple of minutes or so.
Yeah, absolutely. And Danny Armstrong floated one just wide not so long ago, and they had another bit of sustained pressure from a free kick. So they're growing into the game, and Taylor had one just over the bar. So as you say, 0-0, but it's a good game.
And you know you're never too far away.
Oh, it's 1-0 Celtic! Real Hattati, he drives forward from the middle of the pitch, right through the heart of the Kilmarnock midfield. Far too much space, slots it in the corner by Will Dennis just as they were going into the game. Kilmarnock, it's a dagger blow to them, and it's 1-0 to Celtic. Real Hattati.
The defence just parts like the Red Sea, Rory.
Yeah.
I don't know, they're just expecting the pass, they're expecting the through ball from Hattati, as you say, as he drives through the middle of the pitch, but the space just opens up for him, and it's still a good finish, though he's still got a little bit to do right into the corner of the goal.
Yeah, a very nice finish there. Celtic ahead thanks to Ray Hattati. A really nice bit of play for him. There's no doubting the talent that he has. He, of course, signed a new extended contract very recent, I think last week actually, that was confirmed. Speaking of quality midfielders, Callum Davidson, we had the news this week that Tom Rogic had retired from the game. It took me back actually the game you guys had against them, Boxing Day 2021. I do remember that obviously the weather wasn't great, but the pitch was dreadful that day. I remember interviewing Ange Postecoglou afterwards. I said what we saw today was a masterclass from Tom Rogic, the skill that player has. He's been a terrific player for Celtic.
Yeah, definitely. I don't actually quite remember that game, but I do remember Liam Craig was playing against him. I was working under Tommy at the time, and I was shouting to Liam, get tighter. So he got tighter, and then he turned him, and Liam turned around and looked at me and said, what do you want me to do now? I went, I'm not quite sure. Off you come, Liam. So I think he was so talented. He played the game at his own pace, and he was what a player he was. But also sad to see him retire, but we've enjoyed his football over the past few years, and definitely in Scotland.
Look around yourself, Callum, Kenny, Rory and Leanne. So from yourself, first of all, Callum, who were the player that you played with that was similar? That really silky, fantastic on the ball style of footballer?
Mine was probably Damien Duff when I went down to Blackburn.
Yeah.
I just signed, at the time he was only 18, and I remember I used to play behind him, and I used to like bounce passes into him, terrible passes, and he used to just turn the defender. And I used to go, oh gee, he used to play with Alan Preston at St Johnstone, so there's a big difference between the two.
I hope he's listening. I hope he's listening. Oh, wait a minute.
Yep, sorry, we do have a goal. I don't want to interrupt, but I do. Lewis Vaughan has the opener here for Wraith Rovers at Starks Park. It's a tremendous header. He initially hits the post, but he stays lively, and that's what he does. A good striker's instinct, and he nods in away from Jack Walton. 1-0 Rovers.
Fantastic start in that big game there in the Scottish Championship, and that would take Rovers above United to the top of the championship table. Lewis Vaughan with the all-important goal there. So for yourself, Rory Loy, who would be the equivalent of Tom Rogic that you played alongside?
Well, I don't have. I've not played alongside stars such as Damien Duff and the likes, but the one that immediately sprung to mind when you said that was probably Gary Harkins. You know, big guy, but see, for a big guy, so good on the ball and just moves and glides by people, and really good technical football. I loved the nutmeg as well. So he was a pleasure to play with at times. Wasn't always the hardest working. I'm sure Gary won't mind me saying that, but certainly contributed.
He'll be delighted with the shout out, Rory. No doubt you'll get a message from him to thank you for that.
I'm sure he will. Can I just say, Kenny, as well, I meant to say when the goal went in, the attack which led to the goal, Danny Armstrong had the ball and went down the line in the Celtic half and crossed the ball, and it looked for the life of me as if that was a corner. Danny Armstrong was adamant it was a corner. So just a wee bit of potential controversy in case Derek McInnes does pick that up after the game, but it looked a certain corner, and then Celtic got the pitch and score. Yeah,
I think it's fair to say, out of all the managers, Derek McInnes had claimed to have a really raw deal out of VAR. We'll actually chat about VAR, the comments, strong comments from Jurgen Klopp this week, wanting his game against Spurs replayed. Kenny Miller, who would be the equivalent for you, Tom Rogic?
Listen, I've played against Tom Rogic many a time, and he was an absolute killer against us a lot of the times as well. I mean, wonderful footballer. It's actually a shame to see him retire so early, but listen, wish him all the very best. For me, I think Ronald de Boer, when he came to the club back when I first joined Rangers, like obviously his knees were a little bit short, but his touch and how he could receive the ball and manipulate it and use his body to kind of role players, it was I mean, again, he signed a player for Bath, but also saved, sorry, mid sentence there, and it could be a penalty as well for Hearts. No, I think Willie's just going to give the corner. Lawrence Shanklin doing what he does best. He's receiving the ball, run about the penalty spot. He's got such a good technique in holding the defender off, just shifting that ball to the side, and he doesn't get the cleanest of shots on it. It might even deflect off Bashiri, but Marshall has to make the save. On the follow-up, Sibic's in there trying to get on the end of it, and he brings him down, but I think Marshall must have got a hand on the ball to shove out for a Hearts corner.
I'm going to get a look at it, Kenny, because I actually think David Marshall's claim when he's not touched the ball, I think he feels that Sibic has just ran it out of play. I don't think Marshall feels he's made contact with either the player or the ball, but I think the corner's been given.
Anyway.
Yeah,
it's going to be the corner anyway, no matter what.
Yeah, no,
he's not waved play on us yet.
No contact from David Marshall. It should be a goal kick.
Yeah, so we've got the corner coming in for Alex. So he's had two previous ones, Alex Lowry, actually. He's had a really good start. Hit the first man for the three of them now. Three really poor corners for Alex Lowry, and he's had an outstanding start to the game as well.
Logan Chalmers has put Ayr United 1-0 up away at Ayr. Confirmation that Lewis Vaughan goal, that big goal. Wraith Rovers 1, Dundee United 0. Stranraer have gone ahead against Spartans. Thomas Orr on 25 minutes. Edinburgh City 0, Kelty Hearts 1. Daramola on 25 minutes, and that is you right up to date with, in fact, one has just come in. My goodness, Manchester United 0, Brentford 1. Matthias Jensen on 26 minutes. We spoke a lot earlier about Rangers recruitment, but my goodness.
What a goal! Alan Forrest! This is up there. This will be goal of the weekend. Might be one of the goals of the season. It is absolutely outstanding. He picks the ball up on the right wing where he should be. By the way, it's a wonderful run for Toby Sibic. He just drags the defender away. Alan Forrest then drives inside to the space that he's created, and he just drills a left foot shot into the far top corner of David Marshall's net. Honestly, what an unbelievable goal this is for James Forrest.
I never even needed to see that back there, Kenny. Your celebration and reaction to it was absolutely everything, but what an unbelievable finish. Tell you what, comes in for the right
must be a good 25 out there, is it?
Definitely.
It's a power that hits the net at as well.
Honestly, awesome. What an unbelievable strike.
I think if the net hadn't been there, it would have knocked the stand down. It was absolutely travelling.
It's almost like the side net and it catches, and to beat a goalkeeper if David Marshall's out as well tells you the level of the strike as well. The celebrations are brilliant. Naismith's going absolutely tonto on the sidelines as well.
I never even had a chance to look at Naismith on the touchline. It was, it's what the game needed, because it's been a really, really good opening 28 minutes to this game. Like, Hearts have dominated, they've been the better team, they've hit the post, they've had a couple of other chances through Alex Lowry and Lauren Shanklin. And in the early stages, Hibs looked dangerous from the counter, but Hearts have had, in my opinion, full control of this game, and that goal is no more than they deserve.
So Hearts 1, Hibs 0. Alan Forrest with an absolute screamer on 28 minutes, Leanne, and you're talking there about the celebrations from Stephen Naismith. A lot of frustration will be coming out there, because I felt I was down at the League Cup quarter-final. That felt like a big win, a significant moment.
My goodness. What a save that is. Magnificent from Jamie McDonald. It's a chance for the Queens. Jack Thompson hits it from inside the box, strikes the ball magnificently in the volley. It's gone in the corner, but Jamie gets a cross, gets a fist in it, gets it over the bar. What a piece of goalkeeping from a man of his years, I might add. Still 0-0.
Yeah, I felt down that League Cup quarter-final. It was a big win.
That was massive.
And they've picked on from that.
I think in the manner in which you win those types of games as well, when it's that kind of last minute effort late on in the game, you've put so much into it. And then they back that up, a good win away to Ross County as well, and then today a derby game to get you going. So even Naismith as a player was so passionate, he was so involved, so you can only sense that even the interviews he comes across quite plain and quite boring at times, I would need to say, but he's the complete opposite when he's on that white line, certainly backing his players. So it's a huge goal in this game. We're speaking about the magnitude of the game, although it's early on in the season, what it means for both teams, and just to have the bragging rights over your nearest rivals is huge, and psychologically to get one up at this stage of the season is very, very positive. So for Hearts, it's a big moment in the game, certainly, and the manager was enjoying it, no doubt.
Yeah, you see that goal on Sports Scene this evening. Lana was going round the guys here in terms of the player, talking about Tom Rogic. Some of you played with it, just had that touch of class, looked so good on the ball. Yeah, well, there's been a few. I think Hayley lauded it at my time at Glasgow City, was brilliant, and the relationship that I had with her as a player as well, just understanding her was very good. But I think it would be rude not to mention Caroline Weir playing alongside her, and off the back of her injury news of late as well, which is so disappointing because she's a fantastic footballer, but the ball's literally stuck to her feet. The vision that she's got, the balance, just the way she sees the game, she plays the game, just very, very elegant, just such a good player. But on the Tom Rogic statement as well, I just need to say how honest, how honest to come out and speak about your family and lay it bare, the way it actually is. Quite a quiet guy, quite unassuming. Very rarely did interviews.
Yeah, which it probably tells you how much it's meant to him to actually release a statement of that sort and explain to his fans, the reasons why he's retiring. So, as Kenny mentioned, we wish him all the best. Absolutely, a very special talent. Some big moments from the former Celtic midfielder who announced his retirement this week. Celtic ahead thanks to another quality midfielder this afternoon in Rio Hatate. Rory Loya, they're looking to kick on from this.
Yeah, they are. Kilmarnock have been a threat at times, as Hatate has a volley there, well held by Dennis. But Kilmarnock have been a threat from time to time going forward, winning the odd free kick and things. Like I said, Vassell's really trying to pull onto the league scales. He doesn't go anywhere near Carter Vickers, who is obviously very physically strong. Really poor pass there. Palmer, comes back out to Palmer. He's going to shoot. Goal! What a finish that is! Lovely. It's a reverse whip. He gets a little bit of luck with the ball ricocheting right back to him, but Leanne, that is a lovely finish, I have to say, from about 25-30 yards.
It's perfect, absolutely, and it's perfect. He's got a bit of time, probably a bit more time in comparing it to Alan Forrest at Hearts, just the way that he shifted the ball, but the strike is probably equally as good in terms of the technique, the finesse, keeping it away from the goalkeeper. It's a brilliant strike, and do you think, Rory, he's going to be the player now that kind of nails down that that starting jersey. He's been given a few opportunities now. He looks as if he's grown into the team in the game, certainly, and he's backing it up now with some numbers as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think from what I've seen of him, I think they're still looking for potential a little bit more at times when he squares a defender up 1v1. Can he skip by him and get a cross into the box? He does like to check back, and maybe that's a confidence issue, Leanne, and with these goals that he's scoring, maybe he'll grow into that. He did try and run Mayo, who body checked him and was booked for that, funnily enough. But yeah, if he continues to score and contribute, then absolutely. I don't see any reason why, but I have to say the man behind him, Greg Taylor, for me, has been the best player on the pitch. He's been absolutely incredible.
Catches the eye every week now, Rory, doesn't he? So consistent.
His movement and his play going forward. They're checking the goal for possible offside. I don't know if it was the initial pass through to Kyogo that's maybe ricocheted back.
Potentially, actually, yeah.
His foot may just be off.
I actually thought Kyogo, he was offside, but I thought he'd get himself back onside, which for Palmers is going to be absolutely heartbreaking, especially off the back of the midweek goal.
Goal given.
Goal stands, yep.
Yeah, well, it was a lovely goal. Celtic cruising at home to Kilmarnock. 2-0 the lead there. Louis Palmer on 33 minutes. Ria Tati with another nice goal with the opener on 22 minutes. We heard
Kilmarnock have a massive chance to get back into it. Straight from kick-off, Kyle Vassell gallops down the right-hand side. He tries to pull it back. I think it's Matty Kennedy in the box. He doesn't get the pass right, but at Celtic Park, you have to make better of those opportunities, and it just trickles into Joe Hart's hands, who's on his backside on the line.
That's a good response from Kelly. No idea how that's managed to stay at the back of the net, if I'm being honest, Rory. Especially with the surface being as slick as we've discussed.
Yeah. Celtic cruising there, 2-0 Hearts. Kenny Miller telling us an absolute screamer from Alan Forrest has them ahead in the Edinburgh derby. Edinburgh City 0, Kelty Hearts 2. Adam Corbett with the second goal there on 32 minutes. Callum Davidson is at the Tony Macaroni for us this afternoon. Livingston against Motherwell. Callum, I'm always interested in the tactical side of the game. Talk to us about how these two sides are shaping up and what each manager may have to do to change the course of this game.
Yeah, they're both pretty even. They're both obviously very similar formations. Motherwell have actually put Slattery up front with Theo Bair and gone 5-3-2. Newbley's just playing off the probably left-hand side for Livingston. He's trying to cause problems for that one. But again, the game's pretty quiet just now. Last probably 10-15 minutes. A little bit lack of quality. The game's really been played in the middle third. So basically both managers for me are going to have to find a way. How do you get into that final third? How do we create chances? So at the moment it's looking like it's a 0-0. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's going to spark to life, but at the moment it's quite a quiet game.
Livingston 0, Motherwell 0. We gave this game in the Championship the big build-up. It has delivered. Amy Canavan, Wraith Rovers leading Dundee United.
Yeah, they are, Kenny, and they're proving more than Dundee United to be the next goal scorers in this game as well. They're back in at final third. Lewis Vaughan's having a lot of joy out on that far side, being supported by Liam Dick. United haven't actually really troubled Kevin Dabrowski, other than a Tony Watt effort just before Lewis Vaughan did put the Rovers ahead. But it's certainly not been the happiest of 36 minutes for Jim Goodwin and his side. They're really struggling actually to get out of their own half since Rafe have taken this lead.
Yeah, Ian Murray doing a terrific job there. The club very much on the up, and as things stand, looking at the Championship table, 2 points clear of Dundee United. Morton are bottom of the table as things stand on 5 points, level with Inverness. Cali Thistle at home to Partick Thistle this afternoon. Ian Auld is here for us. Any sign of a breakthrough, Ian?
No, it's been a good watch, this one, Kenny. 37 minutes on the clock. We've had 2 efforts on target so far. The one I told you about early on, Nikolai Ujer's header from inside the penalty box, and Brian Graham had a header on target, but a really soft header from inside the 6-yard box. So unlike Brian Graham, straight into the gloves of Mark Bridgers. Like I said, this one's been an intriguing contest. Little in front of goal, and it remains goalless.
Same story for yourself, Chick Young, Queen's Park against Morton.
Kenny, I promised you goals in this game. Would I lie to you? Yeah, well, I have actually, because it's still 0. I have to say, though, that don't take away from the quality of the football from both sides. It has ebbed and flowed. There's a spell of possession for Morton at the start, then it went Queen's Park's way. Queen's Park had maintained the pressure for quite a while, actually, but the difference has been perhaps Jamie McDonald in the Morton goal. He's had one sensational save that I described to you. Just another one, a sign go tapping over the crossbar, and he's going to be in action again here because Queens are through. No, they're not, because it's been defended pretty well indeed. No goals so far. We've played 37 minutes and 17 seconds, but I promise you, Kenny, there will be goals.
You always deliver, Mr. Young. So in the Premiership
let
this
you down,
afternoon,
darling.
Celtic 2, Kilmarnock 0, Hearts 1, Hibs 0, Livingston 0, Motherwell 0. In the Championship today, Ayr United 1, Dunfermline Arbroath, that was called off this morning. Inverness Cali Thistle 0, Partick Thistle 0, Queen's Park 0, Morton 0, Wraith Rovers 1, Dundee United 0. Rovers currently top of the Scottish Championship. In League 1, Cove Rangers 2, Annan Athletic 0, Edinburgh City 0, Kelty Hearts 2, Montrose 0, Alloa 0, Queen of the South 0, Stirling Albion 0, and a real top of the table clash. 5:30, Falkirk at home to Hamilton Accies. Both sides 22 points in the opening 8 games. Both have 7 victories and 1 draw. In League 2, Bonnyrigg Rose against East Fife, match off. Clyde 0, Dumbarton 1. Also postponed, Elgin City against Stenhousemuir. Forfar 0, Peterhead 2, and Spartans have just equalised away at Stranraer. James Cragen with a goal there on 38 minutes. That is 1 apiece. And in England, the lunchtime kickoff, Luton 0, Spurs 1. Currently Burnley 1, Chelsea 0, Everton 2, Bournemouth 0, Fulham 0, Sheffield United 0, Manchester United 0, Brentford 1. 5:30 start, Crystal Palace against Nottingham Forest. That's you right up to date with all the goal news. Kenny Miller, from a Hibs perspective, what will Nick Montgomery need to change as we approach half-time?
You know, I think he might look for a change at half-time, actually, the personnel, and getting maybe someone else in the middle of the pitch. Alex Lowry has kind of controlled pretty much the game in relation to any attack that Hearts are having. He's just working his way anywhere across the width of the pitch and behind that midfield for Hibs. He's found the ball on the left, he's got it in the inside left, he's been on the right, he's found himself beyond and right through the middle. They need to try and find a way to either stop the service into him, or they might have to look at a change of shape. They've not really got Doidge or Vente into the game at all. Ewan and Boyle through spells have looked pretty dangerous with their pace and when they get 1v1 in the wider area. But to be honest, it's been a really strong performance for Hearts. I mean, 1-0 up, again, definitely deserving of the lead. Could be another one.
Alan Forrest with the goal. Tune into Sports Scene tonight, you will not be disappointed. Celtic cruising at home to Kilmarnock with goals from Rio Hatate and Louis Palma. A difficult situation. Derek McInnes now, I would imagine, what on earth does he do? Because if he pushes forward, it could be a real scoreline there today.
Yeah, and see, the thing is, Kenny, see if, up to this point, when they had went forward, they hadn't threat, you would be thinking, let's just keep it tight till half time. But the thing is, they actually have looked a threat. I think they should have scored a goal here. They would still be trailing, of course, but I think it is a difficult one for him. Ideally now, 41, 42 minutes on the clock, get to half time and regroup. But he will take confidence from the fact that Celtic haven't looked overly convincing all the time at the back, although they do look so potent going forward. I have to say, the interchange between Hatate and Kyogo and Taylor and O'Reilly at times, it's just a joy to watch, it really is. Yeah, I mean, for Derek McInnes, it's a catch-22. They're coming forward here through Matt Kennedy again. He's going to square up Carter Vickers. The ball goes into them. Oh, no, changes his mind. Yeah, so it is a catch-22 for Kilmarnock. It really is, because, do they keep pushing bodies forward and potentially concede a third? I wouldn't. I think I'll get to half-time, regroup, and go again in the second half. But it does remain 2-0 to Celtic as they look to go 7 points clear at the top.
Chelsea have equalised away at Burnley thanks to an own goal from Amin Al-Dakil. What have you made of Kilmarnock's start to the season, Leanne? So as things stand, 7 points. There's a real cluster of clubs making up the bottom 6. We saw them go out, we touched on it there, the League Cup, that late goal from Lowry at home to Hearts. Yet they started the season very well. They
did, but then a lot of the results, you look at the amount of draws in there as well. There's been real fine margins in a lot of the games, ones that Derek McInnes has come away sick because of lost late goals, or he's come away from the games pleased because his side have managed to get themselves back in it and take something from it. they're probably one of those clubs that find themselves in a little bit of limbo just with form just now, but I think the signs have been positive enough. I think when you look at the results, particularly the way the account that they've given against the likes of Rangers and Celtic, and those two big results certainly, and as I say, there's been a couple of other games that they've had a good strong position in games and they've thrown it away late on, but today I think this afternoon was always going to be tough for Derek McInnes and his side going to Celtic Park, particularly the form that Celtic are showing, but no, I think Kilmarnock, they've been okay. You know, as I say, there's just those fine margins in football at times. It makes it look probably a lot worse than it actually is.
Callum, from what you've seen from Motherwell this season, they currently sit 5th in the table. I think there's a strong argument actually the performances have merited more points. Would you back them to get into the top 6 come the split?
Yeah, that's a difficult question. I like how you ask it so early on in the season. But,
how do you think we feel, Callum? Need to put an X in the line constantly with this guy.
I know. So no, I think for me they've got a good structure. You know, he's playing a certain way. You know, for me they've also had some good wins. Start the season for a couple of games where they've been lucky. But again, what is his consistency in his team selection? You know, just now, which is a big thing for I think all managers know it when they get that good consistency in the team. Then performances start to come when you've got to chop and change. Injuries, suspensions, it becomes quite difficult. He has a style of play that he plays, you know, and so far it's been working for him, and you know, it's a great start for them. You know, that's all you can say so far. It's a great start. Whether or not they get top 6, I won't answer that question.
Right, we'll come back to Clyde nil, Dumbarton 2. Tony Wallace on 42 minutes. Montrose have gone 1-0 up at home to Alloa. Blair Lions on 43 minutes there. Let's get back into the Championship then. Amy Canavan, any sign of a fight back from United?
No, there's not really, Kenny. We've just got about a minute left until half-time. It just got a little bit heated there when United sort of came close, but I think it's even a stretch to say that. A ball was in the box, put it that way. Kevin Holt and it was Dylan Easton sort of came together, a little bit of a tete-and-tete, both coming away with a yellow card. So it's getting a little bit heated out there, but nothing that's really worrying Kevin De Brusque at all. And if they can head in 1-0 at half-time, Raith Rovers, they will more than merit it.
Ian Auld, what about that game in the Highlands? Dreadful conditions across the country today. Have many Partick Thistle fans made the journey?
Yeah, Kenny, that's the half-time whistle going just as you come to me there. Yeah, Partick Thistle have been backed in good numbers, actually. Fair play to them, because treacherous conditions coming up the A9. We're hearing a lot of reports and trains being cancelled and flooding, so fair play to the Partick Thistle fans behind Jamie Snedden's goal away to my left hand side. They've travelled well in the numbers. There's a good turnout actually for Duncan Ferguson's first home game in charge of the club. He got a good reception as he came out to the home dugout at the start of the game. The half-time whistle is gone moments ago. It's finished here at half-time goalless.
Yeah. All that's missing, the goals there at the Cali Thistle Stadium. Goals also severely lacking. Chick Young, Queen's Park against Morton. Who's on top there?
But even actually, to be honest with you, Kenny, the Queen's Park had a grip of it. Morton keep putting their way back into it. I have to say, both teams, it's a delight to watch. They're getting the ball zipping along the surface. Good early touches in the ball, one touch passing. Couple of good saves from Jamie McDonald. Callum Ferry, when I think back, hasn't a lot to do.
Yep, red card, Callum.
Yeah, there's been a red card. It's just a counter-attack from Livingston. And I think it's Bruce Anderson basically turned the defender. He slid in Mackay in behind. He's got across him. I don't know whether he's tried to tackle him. I think it's young lad Miller. Yep, been sent off. He's got across him, used his body really well, and he's gone down. If he stayed on his feet, actually, he's got a great chance to score a goal. You know, because there's nobody between him and the goalkeeper. So, you know, we get a red card here. Motherwell's obviously been checked with VAR. So I'll come back to you.
That's half-time at Celtic Park. Taylor and Palmer, excellent down the left-hand side. It's Celtic 2. Come on it now.
Thanks, Rory. We're trying
half-time at Hampden as well, Kenny.
Thanks, guys. At half-time, both these games, Raith Rovers 1, Dundee United 0, and Chick telling us Queen's Park 0, Morton 0. Morton really having a problem today getting a squad together, but they have managed that. We're still waiting, Leanne, for a replay of that big call. Here we go now.
Yeah, it's a big call. Miller tries to get out of the way. It's probably the harshest red card you'll see, but I think the way it's going to be viewed is he's made no attempt to play the ball and he's denied an obvious goal scoring opportunity, which effectively is a red card.
Tough, isn't it? I mean,
very similar. not even it was inside the box on Thursday night, but the Celtic women against Glasgow City game, there was a red card that was the same. Young Kenzie Weir gets sent off, caught wrong side of the defender, caught wrong side of the attacker, and she's tried to stop herself for committing the foul and just clips the attacker's heel. But it's just that if you'd have slid in and tried to play the ball, if Miller slid in and tried to play the ball, it might have been viewed differently. But no, it's a definite red card. As harsh as it is.
Yeah, it certainly looks very harsh. Just looking at the pictures coming into the studio, so we are just awaiting the half-time whistles going. What's happening at Tynecastle, Kenny Miller?
Yeah, there'll be a bit of added time here. There was an injury to Stephen Kingsley. It looked like he was just holding his groin, but he's had to get stretchered off. I know the fires just came on, so at this moment there must still be maybe a minute left or so. Hibs are on the attack. They're putting a little bit of pressure on Hearts without creating anything, but at this moment they've got a free kick just on the right hand side here, about 25 yards out, probably just in line with the corner of the box, 25 yards out. Joe Newell and Martin Boyle are making their way over to it. I would say it's probably too far out for a shot, so they're going to need to get the Fish and Bashiri and these guys up to try and get something on that. This must be one of the last actions of the first half.
0-0 half time here at Livingston.
So Livingston 0, Motherwell 0, but Motherwell down to 10 men. Lennon Miller sent off there right on the stroke of half-time. Half-time Montrose 1, Alloa 0, Everton 2, Bournemouth 0, Burnley 1, Chelsea 1, Queen of the South 0, Stirling Albion 0, Forth Athletic 0, Peterhead 2, Clyde 0, Dumbarton 2, Stranraer 1, Spartans 2, and Manchester United 0, Brentford 1. You wonder what pressure there is on the manager there. And half-time at Livingston, we got that from Callum Davidson in that game, and that is you right up to date with all the latest score lines and half-times across the country. So as Kenny was telling us, still playing at Tynecastle, and a chance here for Hibs, Kenny.
Yeah, they've got the corner from that free kick. The Hearts have just not been able to get it clear. They've had a shot blocked from Fish and Vente. Cross in, and it's going to be it's still alive. It's going to be another corner for Hibs. I think Willie's lost his watch. I'm not sure how long he's playing for this at the end of this half.
Maybe he's got both to score in the Cooten. Here we go.
But, before half time maybe yet. But they've got another corner coming in. Martin Boyle's going to go and take it. Everyone's really up apart from John Obita, who's just standing on the D in the Hearts half. So Hearts will be looking to see this out and get in 1-0 at half time. They deserve to be ahead, there's no doubt about it. But this last 4 or 5 minutes, Hibs are piling on the pressure.
Yeah, no doubt about that. They trail to that.
Oh, there's a check. Is there a check for a penalty?
Here we go.
Is it maybe a handball? It must be a handball because there's not been any foul, I don't think.
Possible handball, I think. Maybe off Devlin on the way down there, Kenny.
Yeah, I thought there was a wee push in the Hearts player before that.
Was it in the back post? Was it in the back post?
Yeah, Kenny. Yeah, both kind of three players kind of come together, 2 Hearts players and one Hibs player.
How was it looking then, Leanne?
I don't think it... The arms are elevated, I think, up to challenge for the ball. I think it's in the way back down. It almost looks like it kind of comes off the shoulder, potentially.
We can't tell from that length.
No, it's not a great angle.
Here's a better angle now.
Get a look now.
So it's right at the back post.
A lot of bodies. No, I've no idea. There's a lot of bodies in front.
Yeah, play on.
Yeah, I think that's
the right call. This has to be the last action. It has to be the last action now, this corner coming in for Boyle.
So one final chance for Hibs, you would think, to get back on level terms. Half-time score, Airdrie 0, Ayr United 1. That goal coming from Logan Chalmers on 21 minutes for Ayr. Badly in need of the point. It's not been a great start to.
And that is half-time here at Tynecastle, 1-0 Hearts.
Yeah, thank you to Kenny Miller at that game. So the half-time scores in the top flight this afternoon. Celtic 2, Kilmarnock 0. A wonderful goal from Rio Hatate, a very special player, that on 22 minutes. Also a nice finish from Louis Palma on 33 minutes. He looks to be coming on to a game for Brendan Rodgers' side. Pick of the day in terms of the goals, perhaps pick of the season, Alan Forrest on 28 minutes. A screamer into the top corner from outside of the box. He cut in from the right-hand side and he lashed it into the top corner. So Hearts 1, Hibs 0. Kenny just giving us that half-time score there. Livingston 0, Motherwell 0. Callum Davidson is there for us, telling us that the sides are really cancelling each other out, but things could change now as we go into the second half. Lennon Miller sent off for their away team right on the stroke of half-time for bringing down Bruce Anderson. It looked unfortunate, but the right call from the refereeing team there. And into the Scottish Championship for you this afternoon. Half-time, Airdrie 0, Ayr United 1. Dunfermline against Arbroath. That match was postponed. Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Partick Thistle 0, Queen's Park 0, Morton 0, Wraith Rovers 1, Dundee United 0. In League 1, Cove Rangers 2, Annan Athletic 0, Edinburgh City 0, Kelty Hearts 2, Montrose 1, Alloa 0, Queen of the South 0, Stirling Albion 0. 5:30 start. What a game. Top of the table clash. Falkirk against Hamilton Accies. And in League 2, Bonnier Grows against East Fife, match postponed. Clyde 0, Dumbarton 2, also postponed. Elgin against Stenhousemuir. Forfar 0, Peterhead 2, Stranraer 1, Spartans 2. Stay tuned to Sports. I'm with you right through until 7 o'clock. And coming up next, the halftime reports from the 3 top flight matches.
All the grounds, all the goals, all the news.
This is Open All Mics from Sports Sound.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
We have 2 commentary matches for you on Sports Sound this afternoon. Let's get to Tynecastle. The Edinburgh Derby, Hearts against Hibs. Our commentary team there, Michael Stewart and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, pretty entertaining stuff here at Tynecastle. Hearts have a narrow advantage at the interval, and what a goal it was to break the deadlock. It really was a magnificent Edinburgh Derby strike from Alan Forrest, having scored the winner against Ross County last week. He's leapt fly from around about 25 yards out, left-footed effort right into the top left corner, and there was absolutely nothing that David Marshall could do to prevent it from nestling in the net. That coming just before the half-hour mark. A goal fit to win any game. Hibs will hope that it doesn't win this game. They actually started the brighter of the two teams. Martin Boyle and Ellie Johan's pace was causing problems, Boyle in particular, but they've both completely faded out of things the longer that first half went on. Hearts indeed through Alex Lowry had a couple of glorious chances. First he tested Marshall, who made the save before he hit the post not too long after that, and he was threatening to run the show. At that point was Lowry. Then came the Forest goal. Hearts probably dominant for the vast majority of that first half, but to survive a VAR penalty check with round about the last action of the first half, they were looking at a handball, but Hibs had to settle for the corner, which they couldn't take advantage of. The one thing, I suppose, Michael Stewart, for Nick Montgomery and his Edinburgh Derby debut is that they're only 1-0 down, because this scoreline for them right now could be a lot worse.
Yeah, you're right. It could have been, after what was a pretty good bright start for Hibs, that Hearts started to really dominate and cause Hibs some genuine and serious problems, and thoroughly deserved to get their lead with what was a sensational strike from Alan Forrest. So for Nick Montgomery and his players, I was saying it, around about 35 minutes, the thing that they really need to be doing is competing more and making sure that they get through to half time, not further behind. They've done that. They've still not been able to really compete well enough, but they really have to get their 1v1s and face up, match up, and make sure that they're getting the better of them, and then start to build and work their way back into the game. Once they start being able to do that, they'll be able to gain a little bit of ascendancy in terms of going forward, and we know that they've got dangerous players that can cause the opposition problems. But until that happens, then unfortunately for Hibs, Hearts are the ones that have got the lead, and they're the ones that have got their tails up, and they're the ones that are dictating and dominating in terms of territorially where the game is being played.
And if you like your last-ditch blocks, there was one from Frankie Kent to deny Dylan Venta, who was shooting for goal, was on target, but Kent with a really important block, and was probably Hibs' best opportunity from outfield play. Half-time at Tynecastle Park. It's Heart of Midlothian 1, Hibernian 0.
Thank you to Michael Stewart and to Liam McLeod. Our second commentary of the day comes from Celtic Park. Celtic at home to Kilmarnock, and there for us, Pat Bonner and Thomas Duncan.
Yeah, it's been comfortable for Celtic. Kenny, they lead Kilmarnock 2-0 at half-time. It's probably their most polished domestic performance that I've seen so far this season. They've been good, they've been slick, there's been a good tempo to it, and Kilmarnock have at times struggled to deal with them in the wide areas, and Kilmarnock got a warning after just 5 minutes. Kyogo had the ball in the net, he looked offside at first glance, and there was the flag went up in the check, and that confirmed that wouldn't stand. But Celtic weren't deterred, they kept coming, and it was Rio Hatate who opened the scoring on 21 minutes. Kilmarnock, as I said, they had a tendency to back off Celtic, and They had players flooding through on towards the edge of the box, and that's what Hatate did. He was able to hold off his man and drive into the box. Really good pace and purpose about it. A low right-footed shot right in at the post. Will Dennis, no chance really, and that was the opening goal. And Luis Palma, who's looked really bright down the left-hand side, he seems to be coming onto a game at Celtic now, his first start in the league, and he's been excellent. And he got the second goal in 33 minutes. There was Kilmarnock caused all their own problems. Joe Wright tried to play out from the back. It was a woeful pass straight to Palma. He actually made a mess of it initially on the edge of the box, but the ball broke back to him and he took one touch and lashed it with the right foot into the top corner. It was a wonderful goal from Luis Palma, who, as I say, has been really bright down that left-hand side. Kilmarnock will be frustrated. They have at times, though, got down the sides of Celtic. When they have managed to keep the ball, they've managed to get down the sides of Celtic. Few set pieces. Kyle Vassell, in particular, got down the left-hand side of the goal once, but could only hook well wide. And the other time he got a cross away which almost squirmed over the line, but Joe Hart was there to just stop it doing so. So yeah, Celtic, I would say, Pat Bonner, as good as they've looked in a league game probably so far with the ball, certainly.
Yeah, loads of possession and moving the ball really quickly, and of course the two goals, especially that first goal, was a really good strike. But there were two strikes from outside the box, and I know Kilmarnock and Derry McInnes will be really frustrated with that, because right, the first one they backed off. The second one, for some reason, Joe Wright gives the ball away, passes it in when there was nobody there to take the pass, and that's putting the ball at risk in an area where you don't want, and Celtic capitalise on it. And of course Kilmarnock getting into good positions themselves, but the final piece was missing. I expect Celtic to build on what they've achieved in the first half.
Yeah, Celtic in total control here at Celtic Park. Kenny, they're on course to go 7 clear of St Mirren and 10 clear of Rangers, with those sides meeting tomorrow. It's all going their way at the moment. At half time, it's Celtic 2, Kilmarnock 0.
Thanks to Pat and to Thomas there at Celtic Park. No doubt they are finding their feet domestically under Brendan Rodgers. Very much in control at the top of the table. Livingston are at home to Motherwell this afternoon. There for us is Callum Davidson.
Yes, it's 0-0 here at half-time at Tony Macaroni. I think the first 10-15 minutes I got quite excited. I thought this was going to be a cracking game. I think both teams, the game was swinging from end to end, the chances for both teams. I think Obalai had a header after 2 minutes just past the post, and then Kelly, a cut back from Mackay 10 yards out. He's got to do better. He's got to basically hit the target. And then Motherwell, they've had a couple of chances. They've had Spence back post. Disappointing thing for Motherwell in this first half is they've got a few balls in the box, and the system they play, it's really important that Bayer, Spittle, Slattery get in the box. They've probably put the ball across the face 3 or 4 times. They've had no attackers there. They look a little bit blunt in the attacking side, and then the game really sort of petered out a little bit towards the end of the first half. And then Lennon Miller unfortunately gets sent off. You know, it's a really hard one for the young lad. He's not really made any attempt to get the ball or make a tackle. It's just a clash of legs, but he's denied a goal scoring opportunity. So it's going to be a really interesting half time for both managers. Dave Martindale, what's he going to do? How's he going to get his best players? Newbley, Anderson, Kelly on the ball. What's his tactics going to be in the other dressing room? Is how he's going to stop it. You know, it's going to how he's going to earn their money here. They're going to actually come up with plans how they're going to stop it. How's Kettlewell going to stop the game? How he's going to disrupt them and still have a threat in the second half. So again, the game started really well. It's petered out, and it'll be an interesting second half now with Motherwell only having 10 men.
Thank you to Callum Davidson. So very different challenges for both managers in that game there. Let's then get to the big game at the top of the Championship. Raith Rovers against Dundee United. There for us, Amy Canavan.
Yeah, Kenny, as it stands, Ian Murray's Raith Rovers are top of the Scottish Championship table. On the lip here at Starks Park, players just coming out again for the second half against previous incumbents Dundee United. Josh Mullen with a perfectly weighted cross onto the noggin of Lewis Vaughan. His initial effort smacked the post, but he stayed alive and nodded in the rebound. Kevin Dabrowski in the Rovers goal hasn't really been too troubled by a United attack. It's been a quiet afternoon for the former Hibs shot stopper so far. Raith Rovers more than worth their lead, and by performances and results so far this season, Adrian game aside, they may table as well.
Right. Well, problems there with the line with Amy Canvan there. Perhaps the weather playing its part, but she was telling us there a very good first half performance from the home side. Raith Rovers leading Dundee United by 1-0, and that sees them top of the Championship table. Let's then get to Inverness. Cally Thistle at home to Partick Thistle this afternoon. The half-time report from Ian Auld.
Yeah, Kenny, we're 2 minutes into the second half in this one. We've started a wee bit early, but I'll tell you what happened in the first half. It was a half with very little chances. Nikolai Ujer headed wide from 6 yards out, 7 minutes into the game, almost giving Duncan Ferguson the dream start in his home debut. Partick Thistle, who haven't scored in their last 3 visits to the Highland capital, they'll have to do a lot better in the second half. Brian Graham headed softly into the gloves of Mark Ridgers from inside the 6-yard box on the half hour, and with 6 minutes left of the first half, Scott Robinson drilled a daisy cutter at the Inverness goalie. We've started in the second half, still goalless in Inverness.
It's also goalless Queen's Park against Morton. A choice of listening once again for full commentary of Hearts against Hibs, tuned to BBC Radio Scotland Extra on digital, on BBC Sounds and 810 medium wave. You can find Celtic against Kilmarnock online at bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland, and for open all mics, choose BBC Sounds and 92 to 95 FM.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sport Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and on BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Seems to be quite a debate, Leanne, what I can see around that sending off decision, the game through at the Tony Macaroni.
Yeah, it's just that the angle that we've seen the replay from is for me inconclusive at this point. I would need to see a better angle of it, a closer angle, just whether there was, contact from Lennon Miller. But the response of the player, I think, at times tells you a lot. And I know he's a young player and, he might not yet have that in his locker, but I don't think he would have taken it as well as he appeared to take the red card. It looked to me as if he felt he had made contact with the attacker. But there is a bit of debate just about how much contact, but the reality is there doesn't need to be too much contact being in that type of position and to then receive that type of decision from the referee.
Chick Young, we didn't get a chance to get to you there for the half-time reports, but sounds if not too much to talk about.
Well, we're under starters orders in the second half, Kenny. No changes, no goals in this match. I have to say, people assume 0-0. That's not been a great game. The football in this has been terrific, actually. Both sides have contributed. Morton, we told you, were well short in options. That's why there'll be no changes to them at half-time. But Kilmarnock having a lot of possession of the ball. They're playing some sweet football. That is the target of Robin Bellman at the Queens, who wants to get the club developing in a special way. They're playing the game. They're just great build-up here at the moment, just watching this. If they get this goal, they've strung together about 20 passes. Goalkeeper goes down, and again, good work by Jamie McDonald. Yeah, it's good to watch, but we could do the goal because I made you a promise.
OK, let's hope things improve there in terms of the goal scoring. Leanne, we saw some very strong comments from Jurgen Klopp during the week wanting their game replayed against Tottenham Hotspur because of the incorrect decision being made, and the officials owned up to that. They had to. Really interesting. They also released the footage, the audio footage from that game as well. So, we can't be going to a situation where games are replayed, but perhaps with such high-profile incidents, it does apply the pressure on those making the decisions to get better.
No, without a shadow of a doubt, it does. I'm not sure who it benefits, though, when these individuals are then put in the public eye like that, and that intensifies the pressure, it intensifies the decision-making process. I'm not sure that's going to directly make them better by basically dragging them over the hot coals. So it's a difficult one, but the accumulation of bad decisions with VAR just now, I think you've got a real element of there's a real lack of confidence, I think, now across the board, and there's probably going to come a point, I don't think in the too distant future, that you're going to see managers actually thinking, is it worth having this in the game now? You're going to see them rebelling against it. They're paying money to have it in the game, which they were told it was going to make the game better. And the reality is, if it comes down to the last day of the season and Liverpool are in the receiving end of that type of decision at this stage of the season, and it comes down to a point or 2 points or whatever it might be, or goal difference or however it looks, then it's a catastrophic disaster for clubs, and it's a catastrophic disaster for VAR. because that's not why it was brought into the game. So, and you could go through every game, there's probably so many mistakes and errors that every team can say it cost us. We spoke about Derek McInnes earlier on, how many times he feels this season his side have been let down by it, but it's not helping. It's not helping itself either, and the referees do need to get better. Their communication, even the dialogue within the VAR room and what that sounds like, there has to be clarity. The whole point of the individuals being in the VAR room is to support the referee. The on-field referee also has a decision to make and has to use language that is clear and concise for the VAR team to then be able to step in and intervene. And right now, I think with the pieces of audio that we've heard in certain key incidents, I don't think it's offering clear and concise information that supports the decision maker.
Callum, where do you stand in this? What was your experience of VAR as a manager?
Well, if I go back to what Liam was talking about, I think it's really important we get the right decision. For me, we're all about speeding it up and try to get the game restarted really quickly. If VAR is brought in to make the right decisions, sometimes we have to just take our time and we have to make sure we get the right decision first and foremost. That for me, the reason VAR's brought in is not to try and, we're always talking about how long does it take to make a decision. Oh, this is disgraceful. It's taking too long. Now, they made a mistake. Now, can you rectify? That's another one, but for me, it's about making right decisions.
Callum, were the decisions when you were managing St John's, and it was a rough time obviously towards the end there, were the decisions, even when VAR intervened, that you felt were still wrong?
No, I actually had worse decisions when actually VAR wasn't involved. So I had a lot of poor decisions when VAR wasn't involved, and probably got better decisions when VAR were in place. Listen, for me, it's one of those situations you can't replay the game. Now, can you help the referees make better decisions and maybe rectify the mistake, which does mean, because that was so obvious it was wrong, could you stop the game?
Oh my goodness.
That's for me the big one. But for decisions as a manager, for me, you win some, you lose some, unfortunately.
Look at this passage of play from Celtic, Leanne. This typifies the performance so far. I don't know if it's maybe went too far beyond now for you to see it, but my goodness, Alistair Johnson into Kyogo, back to Johnson, through to Hatate, skips inside, should score. Half decent save by Will Dennis, I must say. I think it's blocked and it goes out for a corner, but Celtic are magnificent to watch so far in this second half. They have made a change, Kilmarnock. Off is with Robbie Dees, and on came Polworth, sorry to be and they went to 4 at the back, 4-2-3-1, which, more often than not is a 5 in the midfield when you're at Celtic Park. And I think Derek McInnes' idea is that Celtic are just dominating the ball. They've so many bodies in the middle of the pitch, just to try and take control of the ball in the middle of the pitch, but it hasn't worked so far. Celtic in mouth-watering form at times, I must say, but it is still 2-0 to Celtic.
Rory, have you had a chance to see the Lewis Palmer goal back yet?
No, I just get to see it live. I've no way of seeing these.
No, just looking at it in terms of the replay, and I've not seen it with lines drawn on it in relation to VAR making their decision. But we spoke about that marginal offside from Hatate that sets it back to Lewis Palmer for me. And actually, the final touch comes off the defender before it arrives at Hatate, but the way I would view that is that he's kind of made a clear attempt to play the ball Hatate. So
I may be wrong, Leanne, but I don't think Derek McInnes will be making a motion to play this game again.
Well, if it was 1-0, he might still feel his side weren't well and truly in it right enough. So I suppose in the context of it, but no, I just wondered if you had had a chance to view it.
No, I hadn't had the chance.
But you're right, mouth-watering form, and Packy said that at half-time, and the summary alongside Thomas, that they will only grow in this, they will only get better and build on it. It certainly looks like they'll add to these goals in the second half with the way they're moving the ball.
Alloa have equalised away at Montrose. Ali Roy on 54 minutes. That's now 1 apiece. Chelsea have gone ahead. A penalty scored by Cole Palmer. Burnley 1, Chelsea 2. Yes, Callum.
Goal, Livingston. Basically got the ball wide. Mackay, who's probably been the biggest threat all day, skips past the defender, fires it across the face of goal. Bruce Anderson does what he does best. It's a little tap in, delicate little touch in the far corner. 1-0 Livingston.
It's all about the delivery, Callum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great piece of play, byline right across the 6, exactly where you want it if you're a striker like Bruce Anderson. gives you something to go and attack.
Definitely, probably disappointed with Motherwell's. I think it's Spence, left back defender. I think he's got to defend it better. He's got to show him down the line and make it harder for him to get across, and it was too easy for him to skip by him. He's done it 2 or 3 times in this game, but again, great finish by Bruce Anderson. You know, probably one player probably underrated in this league, the work he does and the goals he gets for Livingston. A fantastic finish.
Spencer just doesn't get close enough to him. You're right, Callum, and he allows him to come inside the penalty area, which as soon as that happens, there's nothing you can really do. You can't get too close, you can't get too tight or make the challenge.
Yeah, definitely. When I was always defending wingers, always used to try and make decisions that I knew what they were doing. And I think it was just too easy there. He just let Mackay decide what he wanted to do and then skip by him far too easy.
As you say, Callum, a very good finisher. Bruce Anderson, that goal coming on 53 minutes. Livy 1, Motherwell 0, and Motherwell down to 10 men. Lennon Miller sent off on the stroke of half-time. Rory Loy, what are your thoughts on this debate that's going on with VAR? There's always some sort of debate, but Jurgen Klopp calling for the game to be replayed, and also this releasing of the audio. Are you in favour of that?
I totally take on board Leanne's point. I don't think there's a need necessarily for it to be made public. I think that if, you know, the FA down in England were to have come out and said, look, there was an error made, we got it wrong, it was human error, I don't think there's any need, you know, for the individuals, you know, the speech to be played back to everybody. It just seems unnecessary. However, I do think there should be transparency, and they should come out and say, look, there was a mistake made, and this was wrong, we got it wrong. In terms of the game being replayed, no. I mean, that's just ridiculous in my opinion. What point do you draw the line with that? It would just open up a can of worms that you couldn't really put away again. So yes, I'm all for transparency. I've always said it. I think on the Monday, after some Saturday fixtures up in Scotland, they should come out, not straight after games when it's emotional, and clear up some of the decisions. But I just don't know if there's any need for the audio to be played back. I don't think that's benefiting anyone other than embarrassing individuals, and I don't think it'll help the development in any way, shape or form.
Kenny, I thought the audio was very interesting in terms of the clarity of the messages and trying to understand what has been said. I think they need to develop a language. If you're a radio operator, you know, you have a phonetic language. I'd probably take that a bit far, but you need to have a clarity of a message going through. And it seemed to me the referee, the message wasn't clear getting put through to him. I think that's something that needs to be looked at. You can't replay. You just can't replay football matches that would be here forever, trying to finish one season.
That was my point, Chick. That's what I'm saying about being clear and concise in the message it shows. As you say, it's that common language. I don't think in the VAR room that it's right that you're just sitting off for a commentary on the game that you're watching. I think if you're going to intervene, then there has to be clear and concise information that the referee, the on-field referee, who ultimately the decision lies with, although on this occasion it's managed to be deflected onto the VAR room just because of the huge error that's been made.
Yeah, but there's got to be a certain use of language is just clear if you're in an emergency situation, and, you know, to bring it to ridiculous levels. But to compare, then the message has to be clear exactly what you're talking about. And it seemed to me it was all about Gallagher. And I had a lot of sympathy with the referee when he was trying to learn and
so much exactly going on as well, wasn't there, Chick? You know, it's so much going on. The referee he has to take in there. It's a hugely difficult
and he knows
job.
He knows Kenny that the stadium indeed half the world is looking at him.
Chick, it's a penalty. It's David Watson who brings down Hatate, I think it is. I have to say, it looks soft. I don't know how much contact there is. He puts his arm up and he hits the deck. Hatate, Leanne, maybe one for you, but you know,
seen it in real time, Rory. Yeah, does it? I think again the reaction of the player sometimes tells you. I don't know if Watson feels like there's much contact.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely falls into the soft category. It looks like David Watson does try and get his arm across slightly, but
I don't actually think there's any contact in his feet, I would need to be honest, but
there's a penalty check going on now.
I wonder if you just clipped him with the feet, but you're right, with the slightest of touches. But when a player's going at pace, it looks worse, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think he's leaned across him, certainly using his arm, but I think both players
enough for a penalty, Leanne?
No, not for me, Rory. I'm seeing it from behind. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think, Kenny, if I'm honest.
In the meantime, I have now seen a replay, and I can only assume that, you know, they don't think Kyogo's offside with
Hatate, I think it is. Yeah, essentially, Rory,
because he's certainly involved in the play. He's coming to the screen, the referee, so we'll wait and see what decision he makes. Matthew McDermott.
Aye, that was how I viewed it, Rory. Hatate must be viewed as onside.
Yeah.
Because he's clearly interfering with play.
Absolutely, yeah.
Albeit the defender touches the ball. So interesting to see it later on. Interesting to see the decision here from the referee.
Well,
Hatate's trying to convince Watson that there's been some level of contact.
Here we are.
I'm not seeing it. And if anything, I would potentially say that Hatate has initiated contact. If there's any, which is absolutely minimal.
Yeah. Well, he's gone to the screen, which would suggest he's in conversation with the guys back at the VAR hub.
For me, it's no penalty.
Here he comes. Tell you in a wee second. Brendan Rodgers is trying to get the answer out of him. He just needs to wait a couple more seconds. No penalty. Decision overruled. And Derek McInnes is now making the diving gesture.
He likes to stir it up. Leanne called that one absolutely correctly. Anton Dowds has put Ayr United 2-0 up away at Airdrie. That goal coming on 53 minutes. Spartans now 3-1 up away at Stranraer. Jordan tapping on 57 minutes. Forfar back in it against Peterhead. Josh Skelly on 57. Forfar 1, Peterhead 2. What's happening then at Tynecastle? Kenny Miller.
Not a lot, Kenny, to be honest with you. In the second half, it's been very, very scrappy. If anything, I would say Hibs have just had the upper hand. They have looked a little bit more likely in the second half. As we're speaking right now, there's a corner for Hearts. Alex Lowry again. Not a great delivery. It's been cleared with Fish. He's got it back for a second bite of the cherry. He's driving into the box. Fires, it's a goal. It's an OG. It's a goal. Alex Lowry on the second phase. He received it. Wildfish. So, yeah, firstly head there. Yep, yeah, it's definitely going. Yeah, it was Alex Lowry. It's an OG. Wildfish eventually headed the initial corner out. It went straight back to Alex Lowry, who just drove straight into the box. I don't know who tried to defend him, but he's just showed him all the way into the box rather than getting goal side. And it looked like he was just trying to feed it over for one of his teammates, and it's been a wild slash, and it's found its way past David Marshall into his own net. I'm not sure if it's Fish or Bushiri. I'm trying to see the replay on the big screen actually in the corner. I think it may be Fish.
I actually think it's Doidge, Kenny.
Is it Doidge, is it?
Doidge, yeah. No, it is, yeah. He makes a swipe at it. Just
he has a wild swipe and gets it all wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, they're actually crediting Alex Lowry with the goal on the big screen at Tynecastle, but this is going down as an OG. If it's Christian Doidge, then sure enough. In the aftermath of that, Adam Lafondres came on, and it looks like it might have been for Christian Doidge, who's just now sitting in the dugout, and his last touch has been an OG.
Penalty to Livingston. Ken Rice has been brought down the box.
Right, we'll get a look at that one, Callum. We're just waiting on the pictures coming into the studio here. It has come through as a Christian Doidge own goal on 58 minutes. Hearts 2, Hibs 0. Huge celebrations there from the home fans. We can see the pictures coming into the studio. Doucouré has given Everton a 3-0 lead over Bournemouth. Cove Rangers absolutely flying. Fraser Fivey has put them 3-0 up against Annan on 63 minutes, or 2 up after the first 5 minutes in
here
that game.
Kelly stepping up to take it left-footed. Goal, 2-0, Livingston. Looked like a soft penalty. Just Penrith drove into the box. He's been taken down. Livingston now in cruise control. Big questions now. Motherwell, how do they respond?
Yeah, we're waiting to see a replay of that one. Big celebrations there from David Martindale on the touchline. A really nice penalty, Leanne.
It was, yeah. Not really well taken, as you say. Haven't seen a replay of it. Too many screens, too much to look at. Hopefully get a wee glimpse at it.
Cool, composed, left-footed penalty taker. I like them. They're very good.
I'm always a bit unsure about the lefties, Callum, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, they always miss the big occasions. They do, don't they? History shows that.
I don't like the idea of a lefty hitting a penalty and opening up and going the opposite way. It gives me the fear.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know, sorry. I know. Apologies to all the lefties out there.
So just to clarify, these goals going in: Hearts 2, Hibs 0. Christian Doidge own goal on 58 minutes, and Callum bringing us news there of that penalty for Livingston. Sean Kelly, a really nice finish in the spot. They lead Motherwell by 2-0. Motherwell down to 10 men following the sending off of Lennon Miller just before half-time. So that's you up to date with the latest goal news in the top flight this afternoon. Let's then get back into the Championship. Raith Rovers against Dundee United. Last we heard from Amy Canavan, Rovers ahead and therefore top of the table, Amy.
still ahead, Kenny, though the tension is really cranking up here. United have certainly came out with a little bit more fire in their belly in the second half, but it wasn't exactly hard to do so. They were pretty lacklustre in the first half. In saying that, though, they haven't really created any opportunities of note, as another long ball's just hoofed into the box, and that will go out for, in fact, it's now going to go out for a throw on the far side. That's how wayward it was. The only real thing of note here in the second half is that United manager Jim Goodwin has received a yellow card. With the way that Alan Muir was explaining the decision, I think it actually was perhaps due to the actions or the comments of others in the United dugout, with Goodwin receiving the caution as managers do now from this season. But there's been a fair few contentious decisions. Referee certainly the centre of attention so far in the second half. It remains there's 64 minutes, Raith Rovers 1, Dundee United 0.
Still we await the breakthrough in the Highlands. Ian Auld, Inverness, Cally Thistle against Partick Thistle.
Yeah, still goalless here, Kenny. Moments ago, Brian Graham going close for the visitors, forcing a great save from Mark Ridgers from 18 yards out low down to his left-hand side. A real blow for the home side, though. Aaron Doran has pulled up. He started the last two games, scored last week at Gayfield under Duncan Ferguson, but he's come off through injury. He's a player that's really struggled over the last couple of years with injuries, and that's a real blow for Duncan Ferguson. Looked a bad one.
Chick Young promised us goals. Queen's Park against Morton. Chick
still can't bring you any, but I tell you, it continues to be a great game, and we just had a real chance, the best chance of the afternoon for Morton. There was a dancing run from Gant Gillespie in from the left side, cut across just the edge of the box, brought down, free kick Morton, and Robbie Muirhead took the free kick. We know he can sizzle them. He did sizzle it right across the surface, but it just went beyond the left-hand post of Callum Ferry. I promise you, Kenny, this is a right good game. We've played 67 minutes, still haven't produced a goal. Surely there's a goal got to come. The quality of the football has got to bring reward somewhere. There's Dougie Emery down there just chasing the ball, urging his team to go forward and trying to get a goal. Funnily enough, if you were forcing me to put a pound on somebody to score, I'll put it in Morton at the moment. At 65 minutes, 66 when it's gone, it's still 0-0.
Right, we're going to try the line here. There's been another goal at Starks Park. Amy Canavan.
There has, Kenny. I was trying to figure out my line as well. I'm sounding, it seems a little bit like a robot. Who wasn't a robot in the box, so was substitute Louis Moult. He has got Dundee United back level, always alert. Ball swung in, and he just about managed to get enough contact to get it over the line. 1-1 here it starts.
Yeah, no doubt he's been a quality signing for Dundee United. That goal will take United back on top of the table. So the latest scores, a real theme in the Premiership this afternoon. Celtic 2, Kilmarnock 0, Hearts 2, Hibs 0, Livingston 2, Motherwell 0, Dundee against Ross County. That was postponed this morning due to a waterlogged pitch. Into the Scottish Championship, Airdrie 0, Ayr United 2, Dunfermline Arbroath also called off. Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Partick Thistle 0, Queen's Park 0, Morton 0, and as we've just been hearing from Amy, Raith Rovers 1, Dundee United 1, Louis Moult with the equaliser there. Cove Rangers 3, Annan Athletic 0, Edinburgh City 0, Kelty Hearts 2, Montrose 1, Alloa 1, Queen of the South 0, Stirling Albion 0, 5:30 kick-off, Falkirk against Hamilton Accies. That's the latest scores in League One. In League, something happening.
This is incredible. Morton, 3 chances, the bounce, they hit the post, came back out again. It was Robbie Muirhead, another effort. Goalkeeper gets that against the post, and a third time the ball's nearly over the line, and the goalkeeper Callum Ferry turns it round the post for a corner kick. How close can Morton come without getting the ball into the net? Keep my promise, Kenny.
Yeah, we're sticking with that one. Bonnyrigg Rose against East 5 match postponed in League 2. Clyde 0 is now Dumbarton 3 in that game. And staying in League 2, we have Elgin City against Ennismuir. That was postponed. Forfar 1, Peterhead 2, Stranraer 2, Spartans 3 in England. Lunchtime kick-off, Luton 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1, Burnley 1. St Chelsea have gone 3-1 up, but there's actually a VAR check on that goal. Everton 3, Bournemouth 0, Fulham 1, Sheffield United 0, Manchester United 0, Brentford 1, 5:30 start, Crystal Palace against Nottingham Forest. So Bobby Reid with that goal for Fulham against Sheffield United in the 53rd minute. Raheem Sterling with the goal, but there is a check on that one. That would put Chelsea 3-1 up on Burnley. James Dolan with the goal back for Stranraer against Spartans, that on 66 minutes. Confirmation coming through, Louis Moat's goal in 67 minutes. Raith Rovers 1, Dundee United 1, Clyde 0, Dumbarton 3, Michael Ruth on 67 minutes. Edinburgh City 0, Kelty Hearts 3, Alfie Bavidge on 68 minutes. That's you right up to date with all the latest goal news. Let's then get back to Kenny Miller. Hearts fully in control at time.
Just as you call me, Kenny, it's 2-1. Hibs back in it. A real mix-up in the heart of the Celtic, the Hearts defence. It's been coming, I'll be honest. Hibs have been the better team in the second half. Hearts definitely got their goal against the runny play to put them 2-0 up. But this is a cross initially for Adam Lafondra, who it was cleared out. It fell to Joe Newell, who just fed Dylan Benny run about the middle of right at the top of the box. He tried to just slip a wee reverse pass through. It blocked off the Hearts player and ended up in behind the line. But most alive was Ellie Ewan, and he just ran onto it. It was in a bit of a leg race over that 2-3 yards, and he just smashed it right above Xander Clark's head into the roof of the net. Hibs back in it. Hearts 2, Hibs 1.
It's careless defending from Hearts, Kenny. Really, really poor. I think it goes through the legs of Sibic. He's just caught totally square to the ball. As you say, when Hibs look for that wee through ball, bounces through the legs. Ewan's alive. Game on for you.
Yeah, listen, I think they've deserved it. They have been the better team in the second half, and like I said, that corner that Alex Lowry got it on the second phase was the first real attack in the second half. Hibs have been, listen, they've not been great and dominant, but they've just been more active, more aggressive. They have definitely been the team in the ascendancy in the second half. And here they come again. Martin Boyle on the right line, smash it in. Oh, it could be another chance of again. It's 2-2. That is unbelievable. That's Civic again, Leanne. I think it's Civic again. It's not a great cross for Martin Boyle into the front area.
Oh, dearie me.
And Civic just lays it back, and Ellie Ewan again just steps on it and slams it into the far corner.
2-2 there. Real fantastic. Roddy Loy.
Yes, indeed. Kyle Vassell has just ragdolled Alistair Johnson on the left-hand side, I have to say. He did his best to try and stop him. Vassell did unbelievably well to get back up, play the ball inside it, then just shifted one more to David Watson, who was run free, puts it through the legs of Joe Hart. My goodness, out of nowhere, Kilmarnock's second time up the pitch in this half, they get it back to 2-1. The Celtic players are complaining about something as Phillips and Forrest are about to come on for Celtic. 2-1.
Wow, I don't think I saw either of these scorelines coming, Leanne.
No, but as Kenny described though, in the Derby game, certainly Hibs have been grown into the game, and so often you see that when you concede that first goal. Cibic's had an absolute shocker, Kenny, for both. The second one, it's a back heel. He actually back heels it almost like a 1-2.
What is he doing there? See if you're going to, surely you kick the ball the way you're facing, not backheeling it into the middle of the box.
And that's just about knowing the game, understanding the pressure of the moment, the type of game that you're in, the fact that Hibs have just got one back. They're so vulnerable. But the goal at Celtic...
In this game, the Hibs fans have spilled onto the pitch. There's been a fans getting led away at the moment, and now the Hibs fans at that end of it, who have been silent for a long spell of this game, are now just taunting their City rivals in the opposite stands.
Yeah, amazing scenes through there at Tynecastle. So 2 apiece, a quick fire double from Ellie Ewan, 66 and 68 minutes in that game. Elsewhere, as Rory was telling us, David Watson has Kilmarnock back in it at Celtic Park. Celtic 2, Kilmarnock 1. Watson's goal coming on 72 minutes. Stranraer have come from behind them, equalised at home to Spartans. Darren Lang on 70 minutes. It's 3 apiece there. Airdrie right back in it at home to Ayr United. Lewis McGregor on 67 minutes. Airdrie 1, Ayr United 2. We're still waiting just to connect the line-up to Amy Canavan at Starts Park. I'm led to believe there is a goal there, but it's not come through yet. We've got problems with the line there, but my goodness, that is some singing from the away fans here at Tynecastle. Kenny Miller.
It is, and you know when they've came to life, because Hearts have been very good over the course of this game. Hibs have been decent in the second half, but they're just all over Hearts at the moment. Hearts have not got any, and they've took Alex Lowry off as well when it went 2-0. They've took him off and they brought Benny Beningame on, thinking they're maybe going to show that midfield that way, maybe a more defensive minded player, and it's just really backfired. Hibs are the team that have now got control. Hearts need to get their foot back on the ball, because they've not had any control in the second half at all. and Hibs are just attacking at will as we speak.
Amy Canavan is back with us. I think I went too early. Amy, no goal there at Starks.
No, it's 1-1 at Starks Park, Kenny. Just as United just about go close, but somehow it's saved or blocked by a defender of some sorts. But no, I will now be able to pay attention once again, hopefully, to the football and not any more tech issues.
Leanne, can I just ask, I mean, the Celtic players were surrounding the referee when that goal went in, and then the Celtic fans were booing.
Yeah, I'm unsure, Rory.
Is there anything that you've seen?
No, I've not seen anything in the replay. I was more just I only kind of really caught the last bit of the builds up and the through ball to Watson, but I'll keep an eye out if there's anything certainly that comes up on the screens with regards to a replay. Did you think that?
No, I didn't see anything.
No.
I know Vassell and Johnson were at it physically, but it didn't look like a foul either way. Vassell just out-muscled him really, and Phillips, as I said, has come on as his Forrest, and Louis Palmer and Cameron Carter-Vickers are the players making way.
Kenny, as you were saying, a terrific spell there for Ellie Ewan, but not the case, the complete opposite in fact for Toby Sibbick. I did a game with Lena Culloch recently, of course, worked with him at Hearts. I said, look, is he one of these confidence players? It just looks a guy, when he's playing well, he's very, very good, looks good in the ball, very assured, but he looks like one of these guys, when he takes a hit and the confidence goes, he really starts to struggle.
Well, listen, it certainly looks that way. I mean, he's changed his position as well. He's more kind of right back at the start of the game. He's now went right into centre back once Stephen Kingsley went off. But it's just been compounded. That first mistake when the balls kind of went through his legs, he couldn't move his feet. Eliu pounced on it to slam into the net for 2-1. And then it's just a bad decision. Like within a matter of seconds, it's a bad decision to defend the Martin Boyle cross at the near post. He's putting it back into the danger area. And obviously Eliu again. Here's another chance for Hearts here. It's Toby Sibbick. It's Toby Sibbick again.
Penalty to Livingston.
Yes, Callum, take it away.
Yeah, penalty to Livingston. Jason Holt's showing a bit of sort of pull by the ears there, a little jink in the wide area. He's gone past his defender and then he's just stepped across him. I think he's just accidentally again clipped his leg, but for me it looks like a definite penalty. The game was in a bit of a lull. Motherwell made a few changes, trying to get back into the game with two strikers, trying to have a little bit of a go. Another great chance for Livingston now to go 3-0 up.
Yeah, it's George Gent, isn't it? Callum, you're right, he's tried to get out of the way. He's completely wrong side. That angle that I've seen doesn't make it clear in terms of the contact, but was it Holt you said that was running, that was brought down?
Yeah, poor defending again for me. It's another 1v1 situation for Motherwell. I think it's really poor in the corners. He's got to do better. He's got to keep him in the corner rather than let him come back inside him, and then he puts himself in a difficult position again. Then it's Holt's very clever, very experienced. He goes across him and then just falls over. Penalty to Livingston. It is going to a VAR check, as we all do, but I'd imagine it will be given as a penalty unless you've seen anything different.
It's going to be a brilliant afternoon for David Martindale at this rate, but a really poor afternoon for Motherwell. Callum, they've been so good defensively all season, they've been so robust, but this afternoon the first turning point in the game is that red card for Lennon Miller, isn't it? And
we're going to video. We're going to video, Leanne. We're going to...
As I say, the angle that I've seen wasn't conclusive in terms of the contact. Gent is completely behind Holt.
It's outside the box. It's outside the box.
Really? Is that how they viewed it?
Oh wow, I thought that was a definite penalty there, so just shows you VAR sometimes does get the right decision.
We love it, keep it. Here we are, we're just getting a replay here. Oh, it was very tight, wasn't it? That really angle's tight. Not great, Leanne, is it, for us?
No, we're only seeing it from behind. You would kind of need to see it side on.
Right, some goal updates. Annan Athletic right back in it against Cove Rangers. They were 3-0 down. Michael Garrity on 77 minutes made it 3-1. Kai Nugent a minute later has it Cove Rangers 3, Annan Athletic 2. Chelsea cruising now away at Burnley after being behind. Nicholas Jackson in 74 minutes has them 4-1 ahead. Spartans now 4-3 up away at Stranraer. What a game. Blair Henderson with the goal in 75 minutes. Kelty Hearts cruising. Ross Cunningham on 76 minutes has them 4-0 up away at Edinburgh City. Let's then get back to Rory Loy. He is at Celtic Park. Talk to us about Kilmarnock now. They're right back in this game, Rory.
Well, it seemed that way. After they scored, Stuart Finlay had a chance. It was a Danny Armstrong free kick in the wide area, and he swerved it all the way to the back stick. And difficult to see from this angle. I think he should do better, Stuart Finlay. I really do. And then Kilmarnock's best passage of play in the whole game. They walked it from the midfield, from the defence into the midfield, out wide, out the other side. Really good passage of play. And Matty Kennedy stretching, couldn't quite get on the end of it. Since then, Celtic have dominated the ball. Since then, as I said, but Kilmarnock, don't get me wrong, Celtic have had chances to score 4 or 5 goals in this match. They really have. But in terms of being 2-1, a couple of big opportunities have passed Kilmarnock by to get right back in it, but should be an interesting last 10 minutes, that's for sure.
Stirling Albion have scored away at Queen of the South. Jordan McGregor on 78 minutes. Queens 0, Stirling Albion 1. That's you up to date with the latest goal news. Let's then get back to Kenny Miller. What a fight back from Hibs here at Tynecastle, Kenny.
Yeah, it is, and there's been a few substitutions in the game. George Grant and Boyce has came on for Hearts, and Vargas and Devlin have went off. Hibs are just taking Rocky Bashiri off. Paul Hanlon's going to be coming on. It looks like David Marshall's just tweaked a groin or something as well. He threw the ball out, had a little bit of treatment. He's staying on, but he's not moving the best, David Marshall, with 14 minutes plus stoppage time to go. So it'll be interesting to see if Hearts can attest that injury out, because he's definitely not moving well. But yeah, listen, Hibs have been very, very good in the second half. They've just been, you know what, without playing particularly any scintillating football, they've got the ball to Boyle, they've had Ewan, they've got the pace, they've got Lafondre on now instead of Dodge as well. His movement, he's clever in his movement, he's always a threat for goal, but they're just playing with a bit of energy. They're making Hearts defend, and obviously doing that they've got a couple of mistakes out with Toby Sibbick, and there's been wonderful finishes for you, and something that gets thrown at him about end product and that final decision, but his 2 finishes are absolutely excellent to get Hibs right back into this.
Yeah, there is no doubt he is a real threat. We have reporters at 3 games in the Championship this afternoon. Let's then get to that top of the table clash. Raith Rovers are at home to Dundee United. There for us, Amy Canavan. What's happening, Amy?
If there to be a winner in this game, Kenny, I think the tide has slightly swung in the visitors' favour. Dundee United certainly looking the more potent in attack. Louis Vaughan has literally just left the field for Raith Rovers. He has certainly been their biggest threat this afternoon, but United are pushing and prodding for that winner. They will, with a draw, still remain top of the table, but they want that win to keep the momentum going. 10 minutes left here at Starks Park, 1-1.
And that's the thing, Leanne, isn't it? United, a big club with a big budget, and they can get a player in like Louis Moult. Now, we know he has had his major injury problems, but you've got that quality. We're here and there.
For Celtic, and it comes from a corner. Derek McInnes will be absolutely raging. It swung in. Simple run from Maeda at the front post. He flicks on. I think it might be Taylor at the back post. I don't know for sure.
That is Rory.
Yeah, Taylor, who taps it home. A really concede after they've worked so hard to get back into the game. Maeda wins the first one. Taylor wins the second one. 3-1 Celtic, and it looks like game over.
Completely unmarked, isn't it, at the back post, Taylor?
Yeah.
He picks up a brilliant area, don't get me wrong, in regard to an attacking sense, but defensively, as you say, Derek McInnes is going to be absolutely spewing.
Yeah, Celtic cruising there after that mini fight back from Derek McInnes' side. Dumbarton now 4-0 up away at Clyde. James Hilton on 80 minutes. It's now Fulham 1, Sheffield United 1. A Robinson own goal on 68 minutes. Just in terms of Louis Moult, and I'm just saying that you get to buy that quality, and Emil's telling us at that point we're really struggling. You've got a guy like up front, you've always got a chance.
No, he's brilliant. As you say, the injury issues that he's had, that is the biggest problem. If you can keep him fit, I think I said it at the beginning of the season, he's not a Championship player. It's a liberty the fact that he's playing in the Championship, because he's such a good player. We've seen that in the opening day up at Arbroath, the performance levels, just the way he reads the game, links the game. He's so clinical in front of goal as well. He's a bit of an all-rounder in terms of being an attacking threat, both aerially and with his feet, so he can be the difference. But you're right, it comes down to budgets and the level of quality and the type of player that you have at your disposal, and certainly that's what Dundee United have got. Having said that, Raith Rovers, we've mentioned them this afternoon, a really good team, doing a lot of good things, and we spoke about the decision with the fans and how they handle those types of decisions, but the reality is on the pitch it's also looking good this season for them as well.
Maeda's just hit the post, and Forrest, oh, how's he missed it? He's missed it from 5 yards. Maeda's running through the middle, he's got Forrest to his left, Kyogo to his right, he decides to shoot, hits the post, and then it comes to Forrest. All he's got to do is find the corner, and he hits it straight at the goalkeeper.
Could he take it first time, Rory? I know he thinks he's got a bit more time, but I think a player of James Forrest's quality can take that rebound on straight away with the left foot.
I think Maeda's got to play him in the initial instance, but after that, you're absolutely right, Leanne, yeah.
The pace and intensity of the counter-attacks, frightening from Celtic.
Yeah, really, really good. And, you know, as much as Kilmarnock have had their moments, Celtic are deservedly two in front today. They've been a really good watch.
Into the closing stages then. Let's get back to Tynecastle. Real drama there this afternoon, witnessed by Kenny Miller.
Yep, Hearts have came back into it in the last couple of minutes. They seem to have kind of calmed down after that 2 minutes of madness that got Hibs back into the game. Currently attack, it's Rose, it's set the crossbar on the rebound, boys. Forrest, it's blocked out for a corner. It was Rolls just in the second phase. The cross was again, it was a cross that Joe Newell's done effectively what Tobic Sivik did. He just kind of dangled a leg and it's fell to the edge of the box. Kai Rolls has got onto it and it's deflected onto the bar. David Marshall did go off, by the way, and Boric is on. Hearts have a corner, George Grant's about to take it. Hearts now they've taken a little bit more of control of this game back.
It's important to say, Kenny, as well, dreadful conditions right across the country today, but that's a fantastic game there today. Great entertainment for the fans.
It's been oh, here we go, a counter attack. Eliuan, it's Eliuan and Boyle, he's put it across the goal. He's just got it too far ahead of Boyle. Even Boyle's not that fast. But they've still got the ball in Hibs. It's back with Lewis Miller now. Hearts are back in their numbers to defend it. But you're right, Ken, this has been a great game from start to finish. Even at 0-0 there was real good play for Hearts. Hibs looked kind of threatening on the counter attack. It's been a real good advert for Scottish football, this. And listen, is there going to be a winner with just over 8 minutes plus stoppage time to go? I want to see a winner. I don't hope the goals are not finished, but what team will get it, I'm not too sure, because it is becoming a little bit end-to-end. There must be tiring bodies down there as well. It might be primed for a counter-attack with the pace of Ellie Ewan and Martin Boyle, and Hibs maybe just to nick it.
4 for 1, Peterhead 3 now. Rory McAllister on 84 minutes. Look to have sealed the points for the away side there. Let's get back to Rory Loy at Celtic Park. Talk to us about the Celtic performance this afternoon, Rory. A really good response to that midweek disappointment. Yeah, it's been a good watch, I have to say. Although what I will say is it's quietest I've seen Kyogo. His decision making and things has been pretty poor. He had a really good opportunity there. Joe Wright fell flat in his face on the ball, and Kyogo had the chance to go in and bear down on goal. He took a bad touch, and Brendan Rodgers is probably as animated as I've ever seen him. Went straight to the bench and always been standing there for about 5 minutes waiting to go. It's a chance! Oh my goodness, he's missed! Kyle Vassell. The ball comes in from Watson right to the back stick, and I don't know if it's a deflection or what happens, but it looks to me like Vassell's got to throw himself at it and get a goal, but he doesn't quite manage to do it, Leanne.
But I think he gets on the end of it, though. I actually think he just misses the target. Oh, it's a nick-off, I think, a Celtic defender just at the last ditch. And I think it ends up coming off his chest, perhaps.
What a ball it was.
What a touch it is from the defender, because if he doesn't get that touch, then Vassell is putting it into the back of the net without a doubt.
Callum.
Great chance for Livingston to go 3-0 up there. Guthie's broke, counter-attack. He's gone down the right-hand side. He's cut across the box, and a little flick by the substitute Bradley. He should actually, if he uses other foot, he could score just past the post. What a great chance to steal the game.
And very disappointing for Motherwell today. We spoke about them a lot. You know, they could be contenders for the top 6 this season. Callum, it's been a good start to the season for them, but they were up against it with that sending off right in the stroke of half-time.
Yeah, definitely. Games are always small margins, and I think that was the margin today. I think it was a sending off. You know, it's a really even game first half. The sending off just before the half-time, and then since then, Livingston got the goals at the right time, and it's been pretty much one-way traffic. Motherwell tried to come back into the game, but again, like that chance there, they're going to get done the counter-attack with the last 10 minutes of the game.
Right, so let's get the scorelines for you as we approach full time. Celtic 3, Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 2, Hibs 2, Livingston 2, Motherwell 0. In the Championship, Airdrie 1, Ayr United 2, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Partick Thistle 0 into stoppage time there. Queen's Park 0, Morstan 0, Wraith Rovers 1, Dundee United 1. That scoreline good enough to see United remain at the top of the Championship table. Cove Rangers 3, Annan Athletic 2, Edinburgh City 1, Kelty Hearts 4, Montrose 2, Alloa 1. A late goal going in there for the home side. We'll get confirmation of the scorer for you in that one. In League 1, just completing the scores here, Queen of the South 0, Stirling Albion 1, 5:30 start, Falkirk against Hamilton Accies. We've got a Falkirk fan lined up to come on later on to give us a wee flavour of that game. It's a top of the table clash, both sides level on points. In League 2, Clyde 0, Dumbarton 4, Forfar 1, Peterhead 3, Stranraer 3, Spartans 4. In England, another win for Ange Postecoglou's Spurs. Luton 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. That was the lunchtime kick-off in the 3 o'clock starts. Burnley 1, Chelsea 4. Chelsea coming from behind. Everton 3, Bournemouth 0. Fulham have just gone 2-1 up at home to Sheffield United. It remains Manchester United 0, Brentford 1. Real pressure on the manager Ten Hag there, you would have to think. 5:30 start, Crystal Palace at home to Nottingham Forest. Montrose, that late goal against Alloa coming from Paul Watson in the 91st minute. Let's then get back into the Championship. Amy Canavan, any sign of a winner at Starks Park?
I don't think one is going to be coming, Kenny, and I don't want to sound too pessimistic, but I just did. There doesn't seem to be any real attempt from either side actually to try and snatch a late winner. It almost seems that United are quite happy taking the point and perhaps just sitting rather comfortable at the top of the table. I say rather comfortable, they are just 1 point ahead of Wraith Rovers. Just as Liam Dick sends in a long throw into the box, who is up there? Jack Holton, what are you doing? Ewan Murray, oh my goodness, that was all a bit of a calamity at the back for Dundee United. Jack Holton came out to try and punch the swinging ball, and he completely hit thin air, and Ewan Murray, the rising centre-half, couldn't quite convert. So perhaps Wraith Rovers are probing, but it does seem that a 1-1 draw will be the result here at Starks Park.
Any sign of a winner at the Cally Thistle Stadium? Cally Thistle home to Partick Thistle. Leonold.
Yeah, make that 3 minutes of stoppage time here, Kenny. Partick Thistle have a free kick on the halfway line, and everyone has been sent forward for this one. Really interesting because Cally Thistle haven't kept a league clean sheet at all this season as they look to defend this one, and they've defended it well. It's gone out for a goal kick, and in fact there is the full-time whistle. It ends goalless in Inverness. Cally Thistle 0, Partick Thistle 0.
Thank you to Ian O. Leanne, do you remember what Chit Young told us at the start of the programme?
There would be goals in this game.
Chit Young, Queen's Park against Morton.
We're still playing. Well, well into time added on. There's a bit of injury time, and Morton, I have to say, are out on their feet. They have committed themselves to this game. Kenny, I know if I'm proven wrong and I know goals, I will remember this game for a while. It's been
you've enjoyed it, haven't you?
It's been terrific attitude. I really have. I like to see. I go on week after week and play quarter of the Championship. It's been a great football match. I really don't think we'll. In fact, I'd try this new tactic. We won't get a goal in this game. But no, I think we're well into time added on now. The referee will boys whistle any moment, but it's been a really good football match. And how come there are no goals? I cannot answer. We've hit the bar at post at both ends. There've been chances galore. There's been some fantastic goalkeeping, and I'm sure the fans, when they settle down, will realise this has been worth watching. But it's 0-0.
It's a remarkable point, Chick, isn't it, for Morton, as you've described, with the squad that they've got. Only 3-4 players on the bench, really limited.
Yeah, subs, yeah, and
a mammoth effort.
Stranded in Greenock.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
You have a shot at your boat, they might have got there now. No use.
Could have brought a couple of players up, yeah.
Full time, it sounds like a great game. As we've been saying all afternoon, given the conditions, if the players put on a good spectacle for the fans, that's the important thing today. Full time scores coming in.
Kenny, see, just in that point, like your conditions and all that, this is actually perfect conditions for football. The surface is great. Give us a wet football, a grass surface all day long ahead of a dry AstroTurf, and there is the full-time whistle. It has finished. Queen's Park 0, Morton 0, no goals, apologies.
Nope, sounds like a great game there though, and Chick's bang on. Grass Park and it's wet, you can't beat that. Full-time score lines coming in, so Chick giving us that one. Queen's Park 0, Morton 0, also in the Championship. A goal is draw in the Highlands. Inverness Caledonian Thistle 0, Partick Thistle 0. Cove Rangers hung on at home to Annan Athletic. They raced into a 3-goal advantage. Annan right back into it, but a very important win there for Paul Hartley's side. Just check if there's any other scores coming in. No, let's then get back to Tynecastle. Let's get to Kenny Miller. It's very much in the balance, that game there, Kenny.
It is, and the fourth official's just put 6 minutes up, so still 6 minutes to play now. We've just went past the 90-minute mark there. There's been chances at both ends here, Kenny. Joe Newell he just waltzed his way into the box and he just shot straight at Xander Clark. Hearts have had chances with George Grant. They've had Forrest. Newenoff's got in the box. Beningaby's hit one over the bar. So it is still all to play for. I mean, there is a lot of tired bodies out there. It looks like that out there on that field of play at the moment. But there's 6 minutes left. There's still a chance for a winner if someone wants to step up and make themselves a hero on this side of my derby.
Yeah, they certainly do that. 3-1 to Celtic at Celtic Park. Rory Loy against Kilmarnock. Assess the performance of both these teams.
Celtic, very, very good going forward. It's a little bit suspect defensively. Kilmarnock could have, and that is full time, it's 3-1. Kilmarnock really could have scored more here today, I have to say. But middle to front, Celtic just too good for Kilmarnock at times. They did deserve to win the game. Kilmarnock gave a good account of themselves overall, and the scoreline, despite chances at both ends, a 2-goal difference is probably about right, and it finishes Celtic 3, Kilmarnock 1.
Thank you to Rory Loy. Also a very convincing home win at the Tony Macaroni Livingston against Motherwell. Callum Davidson.
Yeah, sorry, I thought there was a red card there, but it's not. It's just a yellow card for diving the box. I think Livingston have controlled it. Second half, I think they've got the goals at the right time. I think there's about 3 minutes left to play here. But again, controlled the game. They scored the goals at the right time, and it's been very hard for Motherwell to get back in the game. They've had a little go, but again, it's very, very hard when it's 2-0 down in only 10 men.
Full-time Montrose 2, Allo Athletic 1. That late
at
goal.
Starks Park 1-1, Wraith Rovers and Dundee United.
Yeah, points shared there. Looks like points shared at Old Trafford. Scott McTominay in the 93rd minute. Manchester United 1, Brentford 1, Forfar Athletic 1, Peterhead 3. That's a full-time. It's also a full-time at Palmerston. Queen of the South 0, Stirling Albion 1. A very good victory there for the away side. Still, we play on at Tynecastle, and a fair bit of stoppage time still to go there, Kenny.
Yeah, I would still say there's about 4 minutes to go. Hearts were just under. Here we go. This could be this counter-attack with Boyle. Civic's tight to him. Yeah, the Hearts players are getting back now. Yes, it's still end-to-end stuff. Like I said, it's not quite as at the high pace that has been played for the majority of this match. It could go either way if there's going to be that one chance left, probably in just over 3 minutes left now. Hibs are on the attack at the moment on the left wing with a beater. He's just crossing into the box. It's went all the way. It's going to go out for a corner for Hibs.
So still the play on there. There's the option of commentary there, but we're still playing the game at the Tony Macaroni. Much to go there, Callum?
No, about a minute left, I think, of the game. I think, again, as just said before, the Cook's controlling it. It's funny because Livingston went and took a corner, and near the corner tried to get shot. Here's a chance. Oh, it's blocked. Good chance there from Bradley. Livingston are just keeping the ball now up in the Motherwell sort of final third and try to just see the game out.
Yeah, big win for David Martindale's side. It's not been a great start to the season for them, but he'll be delighted with the performance today and getting these goals against a Motherwell side that performed very, very well this season. We've heard from Stuart Kettlewell many times. Unlucky not to take something from the games against Rangers and Celtic in recent weeks. Confirmation then in that big game in the Championship. It finished Wraith Rovers 1, Dundee United 1, and as a result of
full
that,
time 2-0 Livingston.
Big win for Davy Martindale's team there at home to Motherwell this afternoon. That win takes them into the top 6 level on points, with Motherwell 10 points apiece there. And just to confirm, Dundee United top of the Championship this evening after that 1-1 draw away at Raith Rovers. Right, we're just into stoppage time now, deep into stoppage time at Tynecastle. Let's cross to our commentary team and see if we're going to get a winner there.
Midlothian supporters greet that as it comes right through to Boric and stays Hearts 2, Hibs 2. The sands of time slipping away for these teams if they want to find a winning goal. It's picked up here by Fish as we welcome BBC Radio Scotland FM listeners who've been tuned into Open All Mics this afternoon. The final just over a minute of this Edinburgh Derbies. It's knocked through. Boyle could be in here. Boyle is in left hand side, and what a wonderful sliding challenge by Civic. Flag's gone up anyway. Civic didn't know that as he blocked Martin Boyle, and it stays Hearts 2, Hibs 2 in what has been an utterly breathless Edinburgh Derby here at Tynecastle.
Tired bodies now, Liam. There's gaping holes all over the park. Civic managing to get back in and make the block, as you said. Even though the offside flag went up, you're right, he wouldn't have known that at the time.
The Hearts fans are annoyed right now. 2-0 up they were. Hibs from absolutely nowhere. 2 goals in less than 2 minutes from Eli Johan. And it's 2 apiece. And it will feel like a loss for the maroon and white half of the capital. Shanklin goes down, no free kick. It's in the centre circle, the ball nodded forward, comes off the head of Newell. It's looking like it's going to finish as a draw. There's about 20 seconds of the injury time left. Ofaya switching the play out towards Rolls. It's going to evade him though, and out for a throw. And Nick Montgomery's trying to get Hibs going again here as Miller plays it to Levitt. Levitt level the edge of the centre circle, rolling it, looking for Lefondre, but his pass is straight to Kent. Here's Shanklin. Will he call him though? Ends the Edinburgh Derby with Hearts on the attack there, and it finishes 2 apiece here. What an utterly outstanding Edinburgh Derby, first one of the season, and Hearts will be wondering how on earth they've not won this game. Alan Forrest giving them the lead with an absolute thunderbolt in the first half, round about the half-hour mark, with a left foot 25 yards out from goal. He struck it into the top left corner. It's a magnificent strike. He's just been named man of the match. It's probably fair enough. The second goal goes in. Alex Lowry driving in from the left-hand side, and his ball across came off Christian Doidge and ended up in his own net to make it 2-0. That on 57 minutes. Hibs looked dead and buried by that point, but on 67 and 68, Eli Johan mounted his own personal rescue mission here at Tynecastle. His first goal, he drove forward into the box, got past the defender and rifled it high into the roof of the net. Centre point of the goal, right in front of the Hibs fans, who could barely believe it when less than 2 minutes later he restored parity in the game. This time he found himself in space right hand side of the penalty spot, and he rifled it home to the delight of the green and white hordes in the school end. After Hearts had led 2-0, they have to settle for a point, and Michael Stewart, that is going to feel like a defeat for Stephen Naismith.
It's certainly not going to feel like a positive result at the moment when you're 2-0 up against your biggest rivals at home, and then you lose goals like that so quickly. It's a sore one, but there's lots of aspects of the game that they can feel positive about. It's just the raw emotion right now, it's not going to allow them to think like that. Whereas for Hibs, the emotions are all positive and they can feed off that. And certainly for Nick Montgomery and his team, he's not won the game, but they've not lost. In the way that they've been able to get back and get the draw, it feeds the perception and the belief that he's building a mentality at Hibs of progress, because progression is not what has happened at Hibs in the last year or so.
Yeah, and that just maintains Nick Montgomery's unbeaten start as Hibs manager, and he continues this terrific run of Hibs managers in their first Edinburgh derbies. You've got to go back to Alan Stubbs' time in charge to find a Hibs manager losing his first go at this fixture. It's a point apiece after a thrilling game in the teeming rain and howling wind in the capital. Down the Gorgie Road, it finished Heart of Midlothian 2, Hibernian 2.